Flexible that day anytime from 11 on. Oh, shoot. Okay. Dope. Yo, 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 yo. Alrighty, alrighty, alrighty. Victor Moan, what's good with it? You tapped in early. You tapped in first. Okay. I tried to creep on a little early, but I see you tapped in, man. I appreciate that. Salute. How you feeling today, my good brother? I need a haircut. Okay, getting that good work in, straight up. After I do this pod, I got to get out here and get back to it myself. I'm excited about today's show. We got some good topics today, man. I'm waiting for Rios. When Rios get ready to tap in, it's gonna be a good one today. A lot of great topics I got ready for. I'm not gonna freestyle this one. I got a lot of good topics on the board. So, excuse me, my bad. I'm just texting something real quick. Mercedes, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for tapping in. Appreciate you. Top of the morning or top of the afternoon. I'm not sure where everybody is in the world today. You know. Speak on matters, rapid again. Rejoice. That subject matter as a Christian. I like here. Yeah, I think we can talk about that. I think we can bring that up. We talked about the song a little bit on the last pod, but I do want to talk about that because I connect with that obviously with my life, me making changes in my life as well. So I can resonate with Malice and how that can be quite a journey depending on what the content will be, you know. All right. Yeah, for sure. I definitely thought about that because even before I listened to the verse, when I heard Malice was on there, when I had no respect to his name, No Malice, when I heard No Malice was on there, or they're doing a new joint, I wondered how things would change or if they would change. You know what I mean? I know he's changed a lot in his recent past things I've heard. So I do want to see how he'll deal with this new Clips project, the content and everything. So that's gonna be interesting. Now I think he did a great job with the verse. It was kind of it was first of all the verse was ridiculously dope, but it was still safe, if you understand what I'm saying. Like it's hard because as a Christian, people think we're supposed to try to show up perfect, whatever that means, right? And you know, also they want to see if we tilt the fine line of walking that walk, and they're waiting for all your mistakes. So I don't want to look at it from that perspective because I don't want people to look at me in that regards to that, right? Waiting for me to make a mistake and say, "Hey, you supposed to be a Christian. You cursed, or you lied about something. You did. I'm human. I'm gonna do my things, and we're born in sin, so we're all gonna have our ups and downs. We're gonna fall, but also I hope we're allowed grace, and I hope he's allowed grace to be a man to do his process how he does his process. So it's gonna be interesting to see for sure. But I'm excited. He's talented, one of the dopest, and that verse was killer. So I am excited to see how that's going to work out. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be dope, though. Victor Mo, what do you do for a living if you don't mind me asking? Which you don't have to say if you feel like I'm prying. I'm figuring out my stuff myself. I do a bunch of stuff, but so I don't want to pry if you feel like I'm prying. I only ask because you said you at work. Lau, what's good? Salute. Salute to Lau. Lau Zoo is definitely in the building. Oh, I'm good. I was just speaking. I'm saying hi, Mercedes. I'm good today. I'm blessed. I'm alive. I'm breathing. I can complain, but with me being alive and breathing, why? So I'm good. I'm good. How are you today? How's everything? Okay, okay. My good brother just showed up in the building. Let's see what's going on with him. Tapping with my good brother Rios is definitely in the building. Everybody clap for Rios one good time. How you doing, my good brother? I can't hear you. You on mute?
I'm good, man. I can't
Oh, there you
complain.
go. Good,
I
man.
can't
Good to see you,
complain.
my good brother.
Yeah, we up in here, man.
I see you rubbing your beard. I noticed that my grays are really coming into my beard here.
We got to embrace that.
Um,
We got to embrace that. That's a
oh, for
beautiful.
sure. 100%. 100%. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I can't complain. Feeling good, doing good.
Good, good, good. I'm excited today for a couple of reasons. Um, One, first of all, shout out to the people falling in. Let me see, we got Mercedes definitely in the building. Victim on is definitely in the building. I know we got a lot of my ghetto cafe folks are coming over. Check us out. They always show support. My good brother Rios is always surrounded by good energy, good people. So when they show up, it's always love, and you guys are appreciated highly. Um, I'm excited for today's show. One, I want to say I miss you, my good brother. It's been a while. It seemed
I
like it's been a
know.
while.
We got
You
to
know what I
chop
mean?
it
And
up, man. Outside
yeah,
of this, you know what I mean? Like,
for sure, because it's been so like text here and there and jokes here and there, DMs or
yeah,
obviously we doing the podcast, but I also not feel like you're actually a real friend of mine. We've been real friends since we've been rocking out, and I don't want to just it to be that. Just like, we see each other once a week on the computer and that's it. Like, you know
right.
what I mean? I feel like once we find the time, and I know because you're doing a lot, not only the family, but you're everyday recording, doing all these things, that we'll find time to go hang out, go to lunch. The wives still got to meet, you
Exactly.
know. So I'm definitely I'm gonna figure something out. We'll figure something out and get something going. Shout out to BW, definitely in the building. Keep JT lit is definitely in the building. Shout out to everybody that's in the building, man. We got a good show today. Welcome to the Relatable Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Lucc, Lucky, BADLUCC, or Good Luck, however you see fit. With my co-host, my good brother, AceBoyRios, is definitely in the building.
Let's
Salute,
go.
salute, 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 salute all around. How you been, bro?
I've been good, man. I can't complain. Just living life. It's been this is a busy period, particularly this year, because I feel like my kids, of course, JJ, Zay, are both
Mhm.
graduating. Um, and a lot of my friends and family kids are graduating this year. So I
Oh,
got a
word. Okay.
graduation that I missed this morning at 10. I got one at 6. And then I got JJ's graduation on the 10th. it's just stuff going on.
A
So
lot.
trying to
Yeah.
balance life and podcasting, streaming, and just trying to get this going. It's a
Especially
good
with
balance.
I can understand it being such a new thing because you first of all you're dealing with your kids' graduations. This is the first. You're also dealing with you full-time content creating at the time this is happening. That's the first.
Right.
And then life stuff happens after that. Family business and all kind of stuff happens inside of that. Like so it's like this is the first for you to map out and there's no um there's no clear plan to do it. It's like Rios is a unique situation because he's Rios. So that's something he got to figure out, right? We all got to figure out on our routes. So I can understand how it can be. Sometimes it can be a bit much, but we got to push on.
Right. 100%. Oh,
So I
shout
dig
out to
that.
you, man. I want to shout out to you for having that the podcast, the stream that you did with the brothers on there, talking
Oh,
about some
thank you.
real important
Thank you.
stuff that we need to talk about. We need to talk about that kind of stuff more than we actually know we need to talk about it.
For
There's
sure.
people out here struggling with a lot of the same things that those brothers was talking about, that you were talking about. So that board type podcast, that was dope, man. So shout out to
Thank
you
you,
and all the
man.
brothers that was involved.
I would love to have you on the next one. I don't have a set list of people. So I would love to have you on one of those as well. I think it's important. And you are the perfect kind of cat to participate because you've been very vulnerable and open with your feelings, how you feel as a man, not being afraid to say, no, I feel like this, or I'm scared, or I'm hurt, or I'm sad, or I'm all these things. You're the perfect candidate to show that I would say I'm not using it to fight a narrative about men out here, but more so let our community know, our surrounding community, whether it's men, whether it's black men, whether it's our women, or our people, whoever, let them know that, look, man, we out here struggling as men, but we're supporting each other, we hold each other down so we can push through and be great for the people that do depend on us, and also be better in loving ourselves.
Exactly.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Which is most important. If we don't love ourselves, we won't be good to nobody out here.
For sure.
So, yeah, I was definitely excited about that conversation. I'm excited to keep it going too. So I got some ideas, man. I'm excited too. I just talked to my good friend, Dr. Joy.
Let's
Yeah, Dr.
go.
Joy. Yeah, I'm going to have. We're locked in. We just locked in for June 13th. I have Dr. Joy on my show. It's going to be, if you know Dr. Joy, if you've seen Dr. Joy on the Relatable podcast with myself and Rios, you know she's a gem. She's a beautiful soul of a person.
Amazing.
And I can't wait. To have her on the show. I'm excited about the conversation we're going to have as well. This is where I want to start today.
Okay.
We're going to start small. When I say small, I mean like we'll get to heavy topics in a second.
Okay.
But I do want you, I'm going to play this clip for you. And I just want to play the clip for you. Then you let me know what you think about this clip.
Okay.
Let me show you. And I stream how many days? No, that's just June. That's one stream. This is May. 16 streams. I made that much. Yeah, we gotta bring you
That's
in.
May?
Yeah, that's just the 16 streams. I was a little inconsistent that month.
Rich.
You that's just the 16.
You would show that on
You
stream?
showing?
I don't give a fuck.
Oh, all right. Shit. Say no more.
16, yeah. So, hey man, I'm just, DD started streaming on there. You know, we get you on there too. Movie.
Get me on it today.
Oh, ASAP.
I will end this shit.
Why you act like I'm not standing right here, bro?
You wanna get there too? Come on. Oh, come on. You know I fuck with you, right?
Shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out for the revenue stream, the income. That's dope. I'm not gonna hate on nobody. He's making his
Not at
money
all.
how he's making his money. But go ahead.
So I played that clip for a couple of reasons. One, here's the thing. It's easy to get motivated by seeing a clip like that, by believing you can make that much in a month during streaming, because if one person did it, that means it's possible. Let's start there.
Right.
right? Um, but also, I have to be realistic to new streamers or people looking at these clips like that. Is first of all, if you don't know who Aiden Ross is, then you want to start there. Now, if I showed you me being as new as I am, if I showed you my last month and I made 16,000, then you might want to, you might want to copy everything I did to see.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. But somebody with as big as a following as Aiden Ross, I don't want that to mislead you. Yes, it's possible because you are a human being who have your hands are to or to touch laptops and phones. So meaning you have access to this kind of income when you do put in the work to these streams. But it's I need us to I need us to stop using these clips because that's clip farming. Use those clips to hype the crowd up, get people going, motivate people when they jump in. But you gotta be smart with seeing clips like this and don't just get so motivated you quit, stop doing everything and just go for that, thinking you're going to be that person to get 16,000 a month from 16 streams. I don't want. That's not a reality for most people in the whole world.
Right.
Let alone But I also showed it to you for another reason. You specifically, Rios, because Kick does pay significantly different than many other platforms. I don't mean it pays better. It pays obviously better than TikTok because TikTok has the 50-50 thing. And I heard that TikTok, I'm not sure how true this is, I heard that TikTok just got rid of their affiliate program. I'm not sure if that's true or not. That's the first level of monetization.
The
So if they
affiliate
did
program,
that,
they got rid of that?
yes, I'm hearing. I don't want to say it's a fact yet. I'm hearing that.
Okay.
That was a new update. But for Kick, just to motivate you a little bit, Rios, you're doing an amazing job streaming, amazing job with your following the community. I want to show you that clip for you to let you know, keep going.
Okay.
Now, for you, you know who Aiden Ross is. You understand what's going on there in that clip. You know, and you also know what clip farming is. But also, for you, a guy I believe in, and I know your content, if you keep going, can literally change the world, then I see things like this for you. Not just Kick and not just YouTube, but all the platforms. So for a cat like yourself, please don't stop doing what you're doing. I believe that God will bless you. And I believe that for your voice to be on platforms, your honest voice to be on platforms, I believe that you will be blessed in significant ways. And there'll be many clips of you, not necessarily acting in the same kind of way, but where people will be motivated, inspired to follow your blueprint for success.
Right. And that would be dope. You know what I mean? That would be amazing. But that's like fifth on the totem pole of what I'm trying to accomplish.
100%. 100%.
Like, if I was in this for the money, I wouldn't be in this.
No, it's a very long way.
Not saying that I'm not.
You're taking a long route.
Not that I'm not trying to build a career or build something out of this. I'm also trying to build a community out of this. I'm trying to build understanding out of this. And I'm going to be 44 at the end of this month, So before I started doing this 2 years ago, I had already lived a lot of life. I had experienced a lot of life, as in being in love, breaking someone's heart, having my heart broke, being jumping somebody, fighting, being beat up, beating people up, this and that, living like a complete full life before I made it here. Live the good life, been happy, I've been sad, I've been stressed, I've been depressed, I've been joyful, I've been single, I've been lonely. I've been all these things that a lot of people don't talk about, the complete spectrum of life. And so me experiencing that and getting to where I am before I made it to YouTube, I don't have YouTube to thank for my success in life. I don't have streaming or going live to thank. I don't have to thank anything besides my experience in life prior to YouTube. Now, a lot of these people are experiencing success and they're experiencing life through YouTube. Like this is what they're doing.
Yeah,
that's not my case. So I think what we have is that these brothers experience life, a lot of life, prior to me and you getting on here split screen and on YouTube. And
100%.
through that, I think we have a connection to the people that are watching because they're more like us than they are like Aiden Ross.
100%.
They're more like us. They connect and they like our podcast is called Relatable. It's relatable for a reason because Tafashe understands you more than he can understand the Aiden Ross.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
APTV may connect with me as a father or as a brother, be like, you know what? I understand what he's going through. They may not necessarily understand what these cats are going through because they're not really sharing they moments of sadness. Are they moments of despair? Were they doubting themselves? Were they questioning themselves? Is this what I want to do? Is this what they're just all content. So that's what I appreciate about us. And if what comes with that is success as in monetary and things like that, that's amazing. That's a blessing from God. That's
For
just
sure.
God blessing us for being us. But thank God for him allowing us to have the trials and tribulations and going on the journey and still continuing this journey because we don't know what the real end result is, what the end goal is. God may switch us up and put us on a different track, but we've done the work to be here to say, I'm proud of who I am. I'm building myself up and you're going to see the good. You're going to see the bad in me. But here we are. And that's why the Ghetto Cafe, that's why Yo Chat, I think they are here for us and here with us because they want to see us win just as we want to see them win.
For sure. I think that's, first of all, perfectly said. And it's hence the reason why I said what I said. Because the man I spoke about and who you are would respond that way. So, no, man, it's real talk. Because to let people know, like, look, don't get caught up in just that part. Because that part don't understand that you got to have some money to live and survive out here.
Yeah.
And we understand that, right? But we also are saying that if you make that the end all to be all mission, then that's not a life I like to live, because I also won't do anything for it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And to your point, I lived a life that most people won't live, even in my down times and my depression and all my things. I've still done a ton of life that I've lived, and I'm so grateful for it without any of that stuff that we just saw or that we see on the internet every day. You know, some of these miraculous fantasy-like lives that we see daily on the internet. But that's real talk, man. And speaking of Tafashe, man, shout out to Tafashe. I do want to say to Tafashe directly also, I appreciate him for a couple of reasons. One, the fact he's always showing up. I truly appreciate him for that. Also, that he jumped on live with me. One of my Fighting Depression series. He jumped on with me and we chopped it up just talking like brothers.
Right.
Like, you know, he had a son with him. We talked about DoorDash, Uber stuff. We talked about his clothing line, which is super dope clothing line. The Let's Talk, right? Super LSS. Is it LSSTLK? Tavashe, I want to mess your brand up. But we talked about his clothing line, his aspirations, things he wanted to do. We talked about, you know, depression and feeling down sometimes and trying to, you know, fight and stuff like that. So that's cool to me because we tapped into that. See, it's like, it's one thing to talk about you appreciate your community, but like a lot of these podcasters may do or YouTubers may do because they appreciate the numbers, right? That's not why I appreciate our community. I appreciate them in the way we relate. And if we relate in such a way, then we can build outside of what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Right? It's like Rios can learn from Tafashe as well as Tafashe can learn from Rios. And I can take something that he dropped or Jim, one of you guys dropped or maybe Sunshine Baby or Miss Yvonne or somebody drops a gem in here and I can take it with me and apply to my real life. The reason why I can apply it because we don't spend hours talking about drama, fight, and ghetto mess, right? We spend our time talking. Now we clown and we joke. We're gonna do that, right? But you also know when you jump on live with us at any time that you can get realness. and you can get something that's going to stick to the ribs, and you can take it with you and apply, or something to think about later on. You know what I mean? I think Tavashi was telling me he bought a he was actually reading the book. Was it? I think in the way of the Superior Man, because you.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, bruh, that's the kind of community we trying to build. We're building, not trying to. That's the kind of community we're building. So anyway, hats off to you, bro. I love that you took that clip, and salute to we not no haters. That's I would love to make 16,000 in 1 month. Let me say that first.
Right.
But also, I want to show that to say I understand what clip farming is, and people will see that and just rush to Kick or rush to Twitch and thinking they're gonna make that in a month, and they got to understand that's not how that works necessarily.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think that's
there's different forms of payment. There's different forms of payment.
Yeah.
Let's talk.com by Tafashe. Shout out to him. Like, God pays me in different forms, you know, and I've come later in life to appreciate those different forms of payment in my life through blessings or whatnot. Every show, and we're speaking of Tafashe, right? Every show I end the show say, go out there and be a blessing for somebody else. The goal is to live a life of servitude. We're going to go out here and serve a purpose and serve another person, serve somebody else, and go out there and try to be. We want blessings for us, but let's go be. We're in the position, and we have the opportunity to be a blessing for others out there that are in need of help or of service. And Tafashe posted a video the other day, yesterday, I believe, of him helping a young lady with her car issues. And he said, you know what? I want to give a shout out to Rios for always pushing this message of being a blessing to somebody else out there. And just know that the work that you're doing is not going on deaf ears. And so we give glory to God, right? Glory to God in Jesus' name. Like, that's a payment. That's God telling me
100%.
What I'm doing is helping a young lady, helping Tafashe achieve goals in his life by him living a life of servitude and being able to see somebody in need of help and say, you know what, I'm gonna take this opportunity to be a blessing for somebody. That's a payment to me.
100%.
You can't tell me that don't add value to my life and let me know what I'm doing is amazing, because everything God does is amazing, right? And so he's moving me in this direction, and this is how I'm moving. And then I got another young man in Texas talking about what the message from God through me has him moving this way. What?
Yeah, man.
Like,
Yeah. A payment, but to your point, you said a great. That's a great message. A payment from God. You know, I'd rather have that payment than any monetary, earthly thing.
right.
You know what I mean? Like to know that. Look, man. It's funny. Sometimes me and Rios, we get to talking. The conversations go all kind of ways. but I think that's God though, because the conversation is moving in a more important direction anyway. So it's funny. You know, I be thinking about my down times, going through my thing, my roller coaster of emotions, and I think about these things I go through, and I'm down, and I feel like I kind of figure it out what I'm gonna do. I gotta take care of my family. I gotta figure myself out. My wife needs things, and I gotta do this and that. But when I know that I said something, or I've prayed for someone, or I maybe gave some advice, or I consoled someone, and that made them feel a way to where they feel like, whether they felt better, relieved, whether God spoke through me, like you said, and confirmed something from somebody in the chat, so that I said something that confirmed with them something they prayed about or been wanting or something, whatever. When I know that had happened, for me, I'm full at that point. Like, I'm full at that point. There's no better feeling, and it's not for me. You know, I give all glory to God. It's not for me, but I am full of knowing that He is using me in such a way, and me being obedient, and then moving it through, and then I see the results of it by someone being blessed, or in return, I'm blessed by something,
Right.
or I'm blessed by someone because of me being obedient. I walk through this door because God said walk through that door, and then all of a sudden, boom, I have a big opportunity, or me and Rios talk, and then we end up on a podcast together. And from that first podcast became a host of things.
Right.
From one conversation and now a friendship, a budding friendship that I believe that is going to go on forever. So that's because God led him. I let our conversation lead us to beautiful places to where I can share in your community. I
Right.
feel like Ghetto Cafe. When I look, I know who's in here, where they're coming from. The fact that they show up every time, that's a blessing, bro. You know what I mean? They show up every time, bro. Like, you know what I mean? There's names in here I see every time. I'm like, man, because here's the blessing too. Without them, how many people would be in here? Even right now, it's what, maybe 15 people in here, right? The fact they show up. Without them, like, I'll be talking to myself most of the time, which is fine because I'm going to grow it. I'm going to keep going.
Yeah.
But it feels good knowing that they're building with me. They want to be here and they're supporting me to build with me. And I feel like it's all God led because I'm going to get praise on these platforms. I'm not going to be ashamed. I'm not going to be ashamed to say Jesus' name and speak how I speak. I'm not going to be afraid to pray for people. I've prayed for people online before, on live. So I feel like if we continue doing this kind of work, there's the opportunities for you and I are endless and open for where they could go. So yeah, we're not doing it for a monetary. Well, we want to take care of our families, yes, but we also, that's not the first and foremost reason for us doing this. I believe we are in blessed position to do great things with our words, and hopefully, I can only be hopeful that my words I speak are changing lives for the better and not the worse.
Right. And through his works, our family will be taken care of no matter what.
That's a fact.
Like,
that is a fact.
You can't knock me off my square.
That's a
through
fact.
his works, my family will be fine.
Man, that is
my
a
family
fact.
will be fine. I'm gonna move how I'm moving. You can't tell me what I'm doing is wrong. You can't. Like,
you cannot.
Tafashe said the girl got her tire slashed by her boyfriend and that he helped her out. We don't know. He could have saved that young lady's life. We just don't know how God works. And I'm excited. I'm happy for what is to come. I'm happy for the people in the chat. I'm happy for you and me, because I know no matter what, we're moving in the right direction. And it doesn't matter about how many views or how many this. If we're having an effect on one person, we doing work.
Here it is. Boom. There it is. So that was dope, man. I'm glad we kind of veered off into that. I like a good dose of positivity. You know what I mean? Because it could be the other way, bro. We could, the way the world is, bro. It could literally be another way.
Yeah.
And I don't want to. I'm in my season of like feeling like things are heavy. You know what I mean? But I know it can get darker and much worse. So, and this is my way of thugging through it.
I got 2 points to make. Oh, is that my Bluetooth? That's Trap News Network calling. But I don't want to talk about that kind of stuff right now. How do I turn that off? I gotta, dang it. Shoot. How do I?
Well, your phone going off?
Yeah.
Shout out to Mika. Love being Mika's definitely in the building. God is a constant provider for sure.
Let me take this call actually right now. Hold on.
Please take it. Matter of fact, put on speaker so we can hear your business.
Live. No, we're gonna take it on our live.
Oh, okay, cool.
Hello? Hopefully it went through. Hello? Dang it. That was Trap News Network. So let me update you on something real quick.
Okay, for sure.
Dang it. I thought I had him here.
The phone answered me. Hi, this is the clinic. You have your results? Like what?
So look, there's 3 things I want to talk about. Like what you brought up about Aiden Ross. I had another thought actually about it also.
Okay.
But I had to ask myself, does that thought help anybody? Does that thought lend a helping hand to anybody? Does talking about that side or that side of the coin or that side of the fence help? No, it doesn't. Let me talk about what helps. But then also, that leads me to talking about us in our life. But then this morning, my title of my live was called self-reflection, right?
Hmm.
Reflection and self-doubt, and how we all do self-reflection and we all have self-doubt in what we're doing and how we're moving forward. But if you're moving in the walk, you can lay down at night knowing that, hey, I'm doing the right thing because I'm putting my best foot forward. I'm trying to be the best person through God, through this and that. And it helps you to just sit your ass down and be still. Be still.
100%.
Pause for a second. And that's this, like you kind of were touching on that. Like everybody has those moments of ups and downs, and like, hey, is this the correct thing? Is this what make my life a lot easier with my decisions that I make in life? Is not drinking, not smoking, not putting poison in my body, and to know that how I'm operating is how my mind is supposed to operate, and I'm not being influenced by anything else other than maybe my own bad attitude and God, you know, like I'm
Right.
working on the things that are wrong with me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's that. So Trap News Network is calling because they had got into like they're getting into it with No Jumper host and like brand, like it's a whole bunch of stuff going on. But however it spilled out, they were kind of like trying to meet up at Marathon Burger. And my gripe with that was like, why would you take your energy of beef to a black business that's trying to promote or do whatever they're doing?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like there's plenty of parks, there's plenty of space to do those things. So he was calling out. I wish I could have took it. We'd have been able to take it on here, but to hear his side of it, to hear what he has to say and how he felt about it. But also it was like a call for me, like it was like a call to us black men to be better, to do better.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, for
hey,
sure.
we didn't have the idea to record an argument on the phone when we grew up. That's not how we grew up. We didn't have the idea to let me make content out of this. If you had an issue with somebody, you had an issue with somebody, you handled it and you moved forward. And it was just really just like a call to all three brothers, like, let's be better. Like, why can't we just be better? We're in this space of podcasting, streaming. Why we got to do some shit that's ugly and record it for what?
I don't even get it. Wait, let me ask you this: did he want to hear I'm not sure, but did they want to meet up at Marathon Burger for what exactly?
To handle whatever their differences. I'm up here. If you got an issue, meet me up here. I'm up here. Where you at? Now,
Yeah, no,
it didn't meet up. The timing was wrong. But what would have happened if they would have met up? What was the end goal of that? Like
that's why you need that. You know the saying, "Cooler heads prevail." You know, like Marathon Burger is the mind, the brain power and mind power of a Nipsey Hussle and a Black Sam, right? Like in the legacy of Nipsey Hussle now because of obviously the passing, which have been doing awesome since they opened up. Every time I drive by, there's a line outside.
Mm-hmm.
Every time, still to this day, there's a line outside. And I heard the food is actually very fire, very good. Now, here's the thing: why would you take funk, beef, whatever you want to call it, to Marathon Burger for the news to say? I can almost see the headline already. Shots fired outside of Nipsey Hussle. You know, I just see the headline. It's like I can write them literally right now. A huge riot outside of Nipsey Hussle's Marathon. Black Sam. Nipsey. We see they're not even going to mention Black Sam.
No.
Nipsey Hussle's establishment. Views. I can see the headlines. And out of all the meeting places in the world to be doing some BS, and I got to call it how it is because it don't sound like you want to have a cool conversation with somebody, right? Why would you go there? Well, and look, I know back in the, I'm old, so let me stop saying I sound old. I am old, so I'll say there's so many. You know what I mean? You got every hood has a park or a close park. How'd you skip that place?
That's what I'm saying. You drove by a million places. And so the other brother was like, you know what? I'm going to be here at this time, at this such and such time. I'm going to be at Marathon Burgers. Why not give the address to your grocery store you're gonna be doing groceries at? Hey, I'm gonna be doing groceries here, such and such time. I'm gonna be here at this, but it's not.
And that same reason why you wouldn't do it at your house should be the same reason why you shouldn't do it at Marathon Burger.
Right.
Whatever that reason is, you wouldn't do it at home. Whatever reason you tell yourself is why you can't meet up at your house should be the same exact reason you should not meet up at Marathon Burger.
Exactly.
Bottom line.
And that's the part. Like, if we're gonna be pro-black, let's be pro-black for real. You know what I mean? Like, let's not just be pro-black when it's convenient for us. Like, oh, yeah, I'm pro-black, but I want to fight this brother on camera and demolish him. Also in front of a black business that's trying to shed the light of some stuff. You know what I mean? Like, they're trying to move in a direction of positivity. Like, it was just a snapshot of somehow it could take a few individuals to darken a whole situation just based off of ignorance. And then it was like, shit, all this shit stemmed from No Jumper also.
That's why that's why the thing is, one side isn't pro-black for sure.
Right.
Right. The other side, that's to be debated. And when I say that's to be debated is because there's like pro-black is an action. It's not just words.
Right.
So if you're moving in a way that is against the forward movement of you and your people, then how could you be pro that? Right? When a lot of times, if you out here, look, there's people out here with, let's take our neighborhoods, right? Mm-hmm. Let's take Long Beach, let's take Watts, right? Most of our homies that got bodies, all black people. Most of my homies that got bodies, all black people. Mm-hmm. A few Mexicans in there, mostly black people.
Mostly black people. So
when it comes to like talking pro-black to certain people, I'm like, well, which one of y'all are? Because by the way y'all acting, just don't see. Why would you take that to? I don't know, oh boy, so I'm not speaking on him directly, but why? If I am pro-black, why would I meet up at another black establishment that just opened another spot in Venice? That's which we should be congratulated. They just opened a brand new spot in Venice. It's on the boardwalk, isn't it?
Right.
The Marathon Burger, which is a successful. The mayor was out there. It's a good thing, and you want to get the first spot shut down.
The first, and that's the thing. Like and I always keep saying like I'm at a different place in life now, and how I'm like enjoying things. I'm trying to tell her, like, I'm not trying to interrupt what Lucc is saying. I don't want to stop. Hey, Lucc, be quiet. Hey, chat, what's up? But growing up where I grew up and like driving through where I drive through, when I drive through now, it's a whole different feeling. It's a whole different emotion. Like I drive through, it's like, oh yeah, the homie got killed here. The homie got killed here. This is where such and such got smoked. This is where such and such went to jail. There's so many like dark, bad memories of what I went through or what we went through far outweigh a lot of the good stuff. You know, like it's just like, damn, like I was so attached to this shit. And as I'm driving through, it's just weighing on me, bearing on me emotionally. Like, fuck, everywhere I look is a bad memory. That's where I got beat up. That's where I got shot at. That's where I got jumped. That's where I went to the hospital. That's where I had my head bust open. That's where I got into an accident running from this. That's like all the reminders of my city. Like, damn.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I never looked at it like that. But now, later in life, with the way where I am at now, it's like shit. Like a lot of this stuff is hurtful. It's a lot of hurtful thoughts, and we have to find a way to remove our connection to something that's not paying off for us. We have to remove from a connection to something that's not giving back. That's really just taking. It's taking so much from us. This movement that we think is right. That's why I wanted to ask. I want to ask G Malone. I want to ask Glasses because I respect him so much and his thoughts and how his outlook on things. And I may agree or disagree with him, but I always value his opinion. And I wanted to ask Glasses, like, can you really be pro-black and be a gang member? Can you really be pro-black and be a Crip? You know what I mean? Can you be pro-black and be a Blood and beefing with other black men and other black gangs? And I just really just wanted just his thought on that because I value his opinion.
I really want to know because Glass is a very interesting character.
Right.
One, I would love to hear the way he thinks and speaks from like a gang perspective. You know, being a part of a gang also, and the way he speaks is very interesting. And I actually I'm about to text him and see if he can jump on. I would love to hear what Glasses thinks about that. Also, because I just don't feel like arguing with him. But I'm going to also. No, I'm not for that. I'm not saying. I'm saying Glasses. He wild, so he'll tend to say some stuff, and I'll be like, dog, now you trolling. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. He's hilarious.
Because I've heard him mention that you can't be hip hop if you support a snitch. You can't be hip hop if you support a snitch. Like if you supporting a snitch or this and that or like that kind of activities, you can't be hip hop. So it was like sparked a thought in my head. I was like, damn, can you be pro-black if this is the message that you're pushing? But I know he'll have an answer, a good answer, and I want to hear how he navigates that and how he thinks about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'll text him if he'd be back, if he got time or he jump in front of a phone. Hopefully he can jump on. I'm gonna tag him in. I sent him the link if you want to jump in though. So
okay,
I definitely I would love to hear from Glasses and in regards to that because he's first of all he's super talented, super intelligent, and I always tell people that I joke with him a lot. We talk stuff, we argue, but he's ridiculously intelligent and a super interesting dude. And I always love to have great conversation with him. You know, so hopefully he tap back in with me, and that'll be dope. You know, let me see. Oh, I do want to go here. I don't know if you've seen that story about small story. It's not even a big story. Top Dog about how the internet started making a big deal out of how he purchased a $99 round trip ticket on Southwest instead of spending $10,000 on a private jet option. Like I guess people were surprised to see he was on Southwest, and there's no mistaking about the bankroll. So, and anybody questioned that, they just like, why would he do that? He could take a private jet. He could take a jet. And Tops was like, well, I'm just going to Vegas. Like, right. Why would I spend $10,000 on a jet when I'm going 40 minutes? It's like 45 minutes on a plane from LA to Vegas. Why would I spend $10K? And it got me to thinking, like, where are we now in modern times today? And most people speaking on this have no money. Let's start there. And where are we in modern times today where that's not acceptable for a ridiculously rich individual to see the smart, the good idea of paying only $99
versus $10,000
when you just going down the street anyway.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? What now if he's going to New York and you don't want to do that 5-hour, 6-hour flight, and because of comfort or whatever the case may be, and whatever, you want to take the jet to New York, I understand that. It's a different kind of comfort going 5 or 6 hours somewhere, right? But to go to San Francisco or Vegas, it's 40, 45 minutes. So when do we start counting people money like that, first of all? And where do we get the kind of like the gall to speak on certain types of money when majority of us haven't even experienced that kind of money? What happened? What happened?
Well, first and foremost, I would say TDE is in good hands with a brother like that.
Right, for sure, 100%. 100%.
They are in good hands with a brother like that because if he's thinking about himself in that way and what he's spending in that way, he's also got a mindset like, I'm not going to waste through the business as well. Like he could have easily wrote that off through the business, but he's like, no, this is not the lifestyle that I'm trying to live. And also, we're not in a privileged position where we can make money and get rich and be uber rich and be like, yeah, I'm a different person. No, we have to remain who we are and remain humble. Like, no, because I've gotten here, you think I'm going to waste $10,000? I'm going to start, because I have money, I need to start living a wasteful life. That waste never leads to productivity.
Not at all.
Never. Waste, you could be manufacturing, a warehouse, anything. Waste is never productive. And so him thinking like that, I think that's dope. But us being in a position where we think that we should be wasteful, us as a culture is not in a place or a privilege to be wasteful. Like, we're not in a place to where we can just do this and this. And I think that's a reason why we may be where we are, because we get to a place and we think we got it. Oh yeah, I made it. I'm here. No, we ain't made it nowhere. You may be somewhere.
Right. We ain't made it nowhere.
We ain't made it nowhere. So the thing is, like, I love that example that he's setting for whoever's underneath him, whoever he's mentoring, whoever is looking up to Top Dog can look at like, nigga, I'm not Birdman. I'm not about to buy this and this and that and do this so I can be on TV flossing. Like, look at me on a private jet. No, that's the real floss, is that I got all this money and I can still walk normally through life.
Yeah. That's that.
That's that part. Like,
sure.
I'm that guy. I'm that brother. I've got millions banked, but I can hop on the Southwest without a worry and get to Vegas and back and forth. That's the being able to walk with the common man, but be a wealthy person and not lose your value or your virtue.
Yeah. That's the gems though, right? I think people look at value different. Like, what do they value? When you sit up with yourself and think about the things you value, that'll say a lot about yourself, right? I think now what I used to value back then, man, look, just 5 years ago, I don't like some of the same things. I don't value some of the same things I did back then than I do right now, right? You notice how older people, like what people consider old people, you notice how the things they appreciate are the things that a young adult ignores, doesn't pay attention to, don't really take no value in. Sometimes they just hope for a good night's sleep,
right? Or
just they woke up in the morning.
Somebody made it home safe.
Somebody made it home safe. The love of a good woman or a good man, right? Or they kids. Them not having to not have to worry about their kids in the streets,
right?
Like those comforts that when you're younger you don't think about these things. When you get older, I thought about that this morning. I'm only 45, and when I woke up this morning, I thank God about the fact that you even woke me up, because there's so many people that never even sniff 45.
Never.
You know what I mean? And so when you think about just being grateful in that kind of way and having that value of like, man, Top Dog got to be one of the richest people, hands down, in the music industry.
Right.
I'm not even over exaggerating.
Right.
Like he's ridiculously. It's more than what the average person would think if they could guess. Right. And for him to make that decision, he's showing you something. If the money, just because you got the money don't mean you're supposed to just do anything. What is value to you?
Yeah.
Right? A 99 round trip ticket mean he got to come back the same way. A $99, he values that kind of, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
If he takes the private jet, right? If he takes the private jet, there is no conversation this morning.
Right.
There's no
and nobody learned nothing. Right. Nobody learned anything.
Nobody learned anything. Nobody could take a life lesson from that. And that's why it's like things like that are servitude. Whether he knows it or not, that served a purpose to a lot of people. That's because to me, let me see you get on a regular. Oh, you vicious, you tight. Let me see you get on a regular flight. Let me see you walk with everybody the same way. Oh, you can only be around rich people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you can only be. I've never met Top Dog. I've never met him. I've only heard stories and learning more about him through music and what's happening with TDE. There's nothing but respect there because of what he's built out of and how that started and to where it is now.
Yep.
And for him to move how he's moving, that messaging, that action, speaking louder than words, that's what it is right there. That's it right there.
Yeah, he's different and amazing human being, super cool, super humble. And if you didn't know that's who he was, like if you didn't know his face or anything, there would be no way you could tell any of the things we said before about how much and all these things because he don't wear it that same kind of way.
That's the goal. That's the goal, right?
I mean, yeah. So here's the thing: all those, I hate the narrative of you may see Bill Gates standing somewhere, or you see that old picture with Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, and some dummy say, "Now, do you see any Gucci belts?" Or "Now, do you see any stupid?" I hate those stupid comparative little memes. But Top is that.
Yeah. Right.
Top is that. He's a. Do you see stupid big long like a gang of chains and not that? And look, that's your thing. That's your thing. I'm not hating on that, but he don't fit the idea of what you deem successful. You know what I mean? The look of that. That's what I mean. The look of it.
Right.
Right. And I don't mean that in a grand scale. I'm just talking about him walking in maybe in a studio or something, or just being outside or being front row at the Laker game. Other than him being front row at the Laker game, you wouldn't be able to tell him from the nigga that was in row 17.
Right.
Right. And I mean that in the most humblest way because that's just how he rock.
That is something to look at and want to emulate. Still keep the common touch.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I tripped off that. I'm always tripping on people who well, all right. All right. We gotta guess, my people. We gotta guess. Let's clap it up one good time for my good brother. What's
the deal, fellas?
Let's go.
Hey, now.
Malone is definitely in the building. What's good, G?
What's the deal, Mom? That's funny. I was just talking to Chuck.
Oh, let's go.
Oh, okay.
Let's go.
We talking about that list?
No. Hell no. You don't be looking on no damn list. They had the complex list going up. I'm like, man, this is the blog era, nigga. We was really going to luck when you really had to do it. You know what I mean? I'm
For sure.
The rappers and the computer journalists. I'm cool with that. I stay lit.
Yo, man, I hate you. First of all, I want to say, welcome to the pod. I'm not gonna keep you all day. I know you got stuff going on.
Yes, sir.
But I appreciate you for coming on. This is me and Rios, our podcast, Relatable, that we've been doing, rocking out, speaking realness and good talk, laughing and stuff like that. For the people who don't know, this is G Malone, what I consider West Coast legend or Watch legend, a man you should be following. Right. You should be checking in on. You should be listening to. He's always got good word for people. I was talking to Rios how people don't understand how intelligent you are. I don't mean they don't understand it by talking to you. Once they talk to you, for sure they know. But they don't understand it because people don't like to promote intelligence. That's what I mean. Mm-hmm. So how intelligent he is, and I think more people should listen to and tap into the likes of a G Malone. I'm so happy to have you here, my brother. You know I love you. You're the homie. Man. And I'm just really glad to have you here, bro. Straight up.
Me and Rio supposed to do a pod live, and I just been running like a chicken with no head. So I'm glad I got at least we on the teleprompt. We could start,
sure.
And then get into it for real.
Right.
I want to hit you up right now because Rios had a question, and the question was he said you had made a comment, and he wanted to ask you about it because the way you broke it down was super dope. So I'll let Rios do his thing from here.
What up, G?
My name.
So I had saw something. I don't know if it was on Community or it was on one of the podcasts, and I saw you made the comparison hey, you can't be pro hip hop if you supporting a snitch. Like, and I don't know if I'm getting that, if I'm mixing that up or if I'm saying it wrong. But when I saw that, is that correct? Am I saying it correctly?
Say that one more time.
You had said that you can't be pro snitch. You can't promote a snitch behavior and still be like, I'm a hip hop supporter.
Oh yeah. No, yeah, they don't go together.
Okay. So I'm glad I got that right. So it kind of like triggered a thought in my head. And I was like, trying to reserve the question for somebody that I knew would give some substance to it, and how you promote your life and how you are speak in depth on certain things. I wanted to ask you, like, can you be pro-black and still be a gang member? Can you be a Crip and be pro-black?
Certainly.
Okay.
Certainly. So I think people miss what being a gangbanger is about, like, and it's like period, the everyday part of it, right? And you know, Lucc, you know, you didn't grow up in the community. It's really about fellowshipping with your homeboys. That's the main driving force. It ain't about not liking other black people. That just not liking other humans come with just being humans. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
and having issues and trying to resolve conflict come with just being alive. And how far you willing to go is more, you know, relating to how primitive existing is for you. You know what I mean? How many opportunities, what you risking your life for. But the main part of it is pro-black. It's about a bunch of poor people coming together to kind of make something of themselves to the best of their ability, at least in their own mind and their own space, based off what they've been given. That's all gang banging really is. You know what I mean? You fellowshipping with your homeboys. The part that everybody seems to focus on is when you go out and, you know, you have conflict and how conflict resolution can fall apart. You know what I mean? Fast. Or conflict resolution is harder to obtain, but that's not the centerpiece of it. You know, if you gangbang, man, if you got 30 days of shooting in your neighborhood, your hood is considered hot that year. That's a lot of shooting for a year.
Right.
And I don't think that's really discussed, you know, enough in hip hop. You know, it's like watching an ESPN Sports Center game and you just see all the slam dunks and the steals and the threes.
Yeah.
You see a bunch of running the
Right.
24-second clock down. You ain't imagine if you really, you know, when you go to a basketball game and there ain't no announcer talking and you just watching it's a lot different.
Right.
So I understand why people see gangbanging the way they do based off colors. Colors only showed you Rocket shooting some blood. Colors only showed,
Right.
you know what I mean, High Top running away from the police with dope. Colors only showed, you know, T. Rogers, you know, giving his work to some kid, and they showed nuance and what's happening 23 of those 24 hours a day.
Right. Versus buying backpacks and putting school supplies and buying lunch and doing this and supporting. That doesn't get the deserved attention because it doesn't fit the narrative, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't fit the picture that they're painting. So with that said, I'm gonna just ask another question. So like, say like drug dealing, like dealing to your community, does that take away the validity of that I am here to support? Are you taking away more than you're giving back?
So that's kind of the thing. Personally, I had it. Like gangbanging I'm okay with everything I did in the name of being a 117th Street nigga. Selling drugs was harder for me because I won't do a drug. My personal thing is like, I'm not addicted, so I didn't understand addiction. That to me kind of becomes a struggle.
Copy.
You know what I mean? Like it don't stop with just selling drugs. You know, like I've had opportunities to do liquor situations, but I don't drink. And I know people kind of use it as a vice, especially, you know, our people. So that kind of would become a dilemma that I would have to take more time to think about it as far as hustling, because, you know, I think there's an ignorant moment where you just think people are buying it and you don't quite realize how addiction worked, but then you eventually figure it out and then you got to make a choice.
Yeah.
It's tough if it's you versus anybody else. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times I think back, like I would sell drugs to my homeboys' parents. Like I had wrote a song on a record like that's about to come out where I apologized to my homeboys because I wasn't. I was thinking with like this kind of really immature mind, like damn, I kill and die over you, but I'm also contributing, you know, and have given the opportunity to your parents. They shouldn't at least be able to buy it from me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
They shouldn't at least be able to buy it from me.
Like, I'm contributing to your pain.
Yeah, because you know they still in your video games. You know what I mean? You know, and I'm thinking like, you know, well, I'm giving you some money, but that ain't. You know, sometimes you can't be an option for people to do dumb shit.
Right. Yeah.
And
Let me ask you this, G. If the way you speak, one thing I love about you, you don't shy away from any kind of comment when it comes to like gang banging and street life. And I feel like we've had enough people, in my opinion, um, that has had platforms or have platforms to speak on the same things you speak on, that I see you speak on regularly, and just don't. Right? It's the reason why I think so many people also come to you when it comes to these questions. For example, I've seen you on Breakfast Club talk about certain things, and I've seen you on these different platforms, and you always, in my opinion, the go-to person when it comes to gang banging and street life, and probably really kind of clearing up the misconceptions of what it is to be a member or an active gang banger, right? And I'm wondering, like, why did it take for it to get all the way to glasses? And maybe I'm missing something, but you know what I'm saying?
I know.
It's like, how did it take all the way? You know what I mean? Like I never heard people even talk about it or give it the intelligent breakdown and the passion behind it like you have. And we've had so many representatives to speak for us before. But why do you think that is?
So sober. Like I'm really sober. So I know that don't seem funny, but like I analyze everything doing it every day. So before I even was off the porch, I analyzed doing it every day. I ask questions to my older homies, even the craziest ones, you know, your crazy homies that be loaded out their mind and on all that trouble. Soon as they come down, I'm asking them questions like, why are you doing this? What's up with this? Like I just hopped off with my older homie Rich, Double R from out the Jordan Downs, and I'm asking him about the inception of, you know, certain things in the community. Why? Like I'm always, again, to really be a great gangbanger, now you almost have to be pro-black. Like you almost have to be willing to fellowship in these really odd situations. You got to go to the hustles. You got to go to the hustlers. You feel me? And be able to be there and be okay just being black there, even if you're not in the community. So I think I asked a lot of questions and I was able to just figure out what the real motivation is. And I noticed a lot of people just get down because they was forced to get down, or they needed protection in their community to get down, or they don't quite know why. Versus me, where it was more like people wanted me to be down because they thought I might have been smart, or, you know, if I was going to screw up, you know what I mean? It was like, let's show you how to do that. And, you know, I always ask questions about what's going on. And Snoop said the same thing to me, you know, probably about 3 months. He's like, man, I just like how you really represent how we grew up. And I'm like, well, it's all our depth. You know what I'm saying? It's like when we first talk, I never would let you tell me you're not a gangbanger. I would never let people tell me, because if you grew up in the community, these is the people, that's going to be a problem. So you from somewhere. So, you know, once you understand that, I think I'm always sober. I never missed a moment. I was always present for the moments. Those little parts of being present for the moment, not being drunk, being sober, you feel me? It helped me understand more why versus what.
There's no gaps in your reality.
Ever.
There's no gaps in your reality. Like you've taken every picture and lined it up in your timeline. Like this is why this makes sense and this and that. There's no spaces where you could question like, damn, what happened this day? Or what was that's why I love having you.
Something simple like snitching and accountability, because again, sometimes we make that some gangbanger stuff, right? And that don't have nothing to do with nobody. Right? That's about accountability, because real snitching is you avoiding accountability, and you putting somebody else in trouble to avoid accountability.
Right.
So once you understand that, it's like it clarifies snitching. But I know that because my mom died in prison because somebody told on her. I know this because I watched friends go to prison because other people didn't want to be accountable for their own crimes. It's not about some code of ethics or nothing. You're supposed to be a man. Something else, like if you don't raise your homeboys and people know, you'll become the laughing stock of the neighborhood.
Right.
Like, something we don't say out loud, but it's like if you don't raise your kids, we kind of be like, what's up with you? Like, and none of us, I was the loud homie. I'm gonna make fun of you for it. You know what I mean? Just like if you told, like you gonna be the joke, you shouldn't be around me for sure. So it's all about street life in general. Is all about accountability. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you said it, show your face. Pop up, show us that you really willing to be accountable for the things you said.
Right.
It's funny you say that, because that's spot on. Street life, out of anything is the ultimate show accountability.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate prove it, or you know what I mean. And it seems like I could be the old head at this point, but it seems like we're getting not we have, but we see like we're getting further away from either holding people accountable or just people being accountable for their own actions. And I'm speaking through hip hop.
Sure.
Well, not even just hip hop, because I've seen, I'm not gonna say what hoods or whatever, but I've seen homies in the hoods that know, this nigga snitch. We ain't gotta go through the whole paperwork thing. We know he snitched and he shouldn't even be walking around here. Or why are y'all debating if he should get up out of here when he did bunk, he did that BS that one. So we see it. It happening more day. Back in the day, you used to hear about it.
Yeah.
Or used to know like, hey, what Charlie got up out of here, they whatever that, or he was sent up, he got up,
Crazy luck. That used to be the last honorable thing that rat ass nigga would do.
right.
His regular name. He knew, like, he didn't want to bring shame to you. He wouldn't even mess with you, Luck. He wouldn't even. He'd be like, you would see him. You'd be like, man, what's up? He'd like, yeah, he with his kids. He knew.
Yeah, he knew. He knew it
for him. And he was like, he would take that last honorable. It's like the movie Judge Dredd when you your last honor, you walk off into the desert.
Yeah, you walk off into
the. He used to just walk off into the desert.
Walk the flame.
I can't hack it. Here was my moment to shine, and I took another route, I'm gone. I'm not gonna bring y'all no more shame. Now these people will walk around and bring you shame. Like they'll be hanging around. It's like you embarrassed all of us.
Right.
Why would you still be trying to put us in a dilemma to where we got to decide? Like, be honorable, bro. This your last honorable task. Let us just have this.
That's that samurai honor. Taking themselves out. Like,
yeah, for sure. It's funny because hear you say that, it makes me think about the other side of that, right? Because you're spot on. It used to be like if you ever looked at somebody in the face who did some BS, even a nigga who just got DP, right? It ain't even like you look at him, he looked like I messed up. Like,
look, the computer took away shame, bro.
Right. Right.
Like that, and that's what drives street life. That primitive level of masculinity, like ultimate accountability. Like, I did it, and I'm gonna stand on it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Remember
crazy.
if two people got into it, because they gonna claim it. Like, they did this, so we did this. Now it's like everybody is no more shame, bro. Is people pop back up, they don't have no shame, and
let me ask you, is it because though the repercussions have changed or loosened up?
I don't think there was ever like the killer repercussion for snitch. I think it was like in the middle of a case. But usually people might kick your ass. People just wouldn't hang with you.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think it's that. I think it's just that close-knit of blackness together that we had where we was just us. That is kind of separating. The value of the house is going up. Different people moving in. They wedging in between the relationship. People are close. Like I was looking at different stories where people was joining gangs and they didn't grow up in the neighborhood. They didn't have best friends who grew up in the neighborhood. At least it used to be your cousin that grew up in the neighborhood if you was gonna go over there. Now these dudes is bouncing around like campus to campus to figure out what college they gonna enroll at.
Right.
So that person don't have no connection. If I shamed the 7, these is people I've been knowing my whole life.
Like, you almost can't go nowhere without being.
First, I can't go in the mirror.
Right.
Dealing with yourself in the morning.
Real talk.
And that's why I always push, like, the cornerstone is accountability. Like, don't do nothing you don't want to be accountable for. But I knew this as a 15-year-old, 14-year-old boy that became from a gang. Don't do nothing you don't want to be accountable for, because for sure somebody may find out and be like, hey, we're going to hold you accountable, and you got to be okay with what you. I didn't argue with my older homie. He wanted to kill a taxi cab man that called him the N-word. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm not finna go to prison because somebody called the N-word. I can't be I don't want to years for that.
Right.
We argue to this day. Man, it was on some punk ass shit. You could. I'm like, I'm still saved your life.
Yeah.
This is not a reason to go to prison.
Because you still would have been in there.
I'm like, this is not a reason to go to prison.
He is not the reason. That motherfucker is not the reason. I'm going.
Us, and it was a dark alley. Cool. But this is the middle of traffic. Monday morning on Imperial. Bro, everybody see
Hey,
us.
let me
No,
give you this. Where do you get? And I guess this for both of y'all. Where do you get the mind? Because we got some crazy homies. Think about if you just think about your homies, the history of your homies.
yeah,
There are some people that should not be out on the streets. Period.
sure.
Right? There's some really insane people walking around here.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking to myself, like, what gets you to a point where you're either so mad or so careless and reckless that you would be broad day, public crowd, killing nigga around the streets just because of something, the way you were done, disrespected, something. What gets you to that? And I'm not asking y'all to obviously go into insane. I'm talking to two sane people, but also, what do you think that is for the person who would just do that? I'm not calling your boy insane like that, but for a nigga to just throw all logic out the window for how this is going to end and be like, forget it. And what does it say to that kind of mind frame of people in the hood like that? People that are like that, not everybody, people that are like that. Is it just trauma? Is it we give a basis ground definition of trauma? That's why he does that, or he didn't have a mom and a dad, so that's what it was, or was it like a bunch of things in coming up?
Okay, my personal opinion, I gotta do my stream. So I'm gonna get
Okay.
this. I'm on y'all.
Oh, for sure.
Look, I've thought about this a million times because there's certain homies that's like over the top. Self-value of life, right? Like the thing that poverty does to you, where it creates like you don't have the same value. That's
100.
one thing. Where you like, and it don't hit you till it's too late that you could probably be something. But for a lot of people, I realize with certain homies, they think this is all they can be. That's kind of the problem with oppression and poverty. You're thinking all you could be is this outstanding Crip from 7th Street Watch. And whatever that means in this soldier, in this war, whatever, that's all you think you could be. Or two, you think you can get away with everything. And that's Pluck problem. Pluck used to think he can get away with everything. I'm like, if all these cars were in traffic, nobody gonna know. Everybody's gonna know.
Everybody.
Everybody is going.
Everybody's gonna know.
What are you talking about? Like, and then I'm not gonna tell Luck because my mom, like,
For sure.
just some street, like my mom, bro. I'm not telling. So now I'm not tell somebody in prison on my 23rd year. I'm in jail because we knocked down a taxi cab driver.
Yeah.
That screamed the N-word out of the window. Now that is an honorable reason to fuck somebody over, but I got to be able to get away with it.
Absolutely.
We're gonna do. I'm with it because one less racist or even one less person thinking that was okay to say is worth getting knocked down. Like that person's worth taking their life, but it's not worth going to prison over. And there is a difference between, doing something to somebody and then knowing you're gonna get away with it. You know what I mean? So I think we have a real deflated value of our existence, our freedom, because it's just, it's layered with struggle, it's layered with oppression, it's layered with poverty. People telling you not shit because you're not making money, or you don't got this or that, or you look at your atmosphere, your environment, you don't see that. When you go to suburban America, you don't think like that because you got a job or kids, but when you grow up, Luck and Rios, where we grew up and how we live, you just quite don't see what you could be. It take people some time. Some people it take a lot of time to figure out what's really out there for them.
Right.
And
that's what I was going to agree. Go ahead.
I got to do the stream because I'm 11 minutes. But let's go back and get it.
I'm about to say, look, man, thanks for coming on. Thanks for logging on.
Thank you.
We appreciate you, brother. We love you. Salute. Should we celebrate everything you do?
Set it up. Let's set it up for the next. I'm gonna text you.
We'll do it. Let's set it up.
I'm
in. All right, my guy.
Hey, he said it so much better than I was going to say it because mine was going to be of fewer words. Is that not having the recognition of risk? What's at risk when you do this? Recognizing the risk, but then not only not recognizing the risk, is not really properly valuing the risk.
That's for sure.
So
not properly evaluated for sure.
He explained that in such a good way, but that's what my reply was going to be like: not recognizing the risk and not necessarily valuing the risk. Like, how do you value that risk? How do you value your life? How do you value what's going to be taken away from you in comparison to what this person did? Go ahead, finish.
If
what they did did that equate to you giving up everything in your life?
And I was gonna say to that point, how do I try to convince you that it's not worth it if you feel like your life isn't even worth it?
But
How do I explain? That's to that point, right? To that point of not valuing yourself.
But
right?
what Glasses said is really like a snapshot.
For sure.
Sometimes we value other people more than we value ourselves.
Glasses told me on the phone.
He did that not even for his own life. He didn't do it for Glasses.
Glasses said, he told me on the phone one time, I said, gee, why do it was kind of like first of all, I hate the black on black conversation because we understand what that is, right? But I asked him, I said, why do you think we do kill each other like we do? Now, like everybody do when they're with their people or in proximity of their own kind, right? Most crimes happen in proximity, so white crimes happen to white people, right? Mostly by the numbers. So it's just no term for white on white crime or Asian crime or whatever the case may be. But when asked about that, about gangbanging, he simply said basically the same thing. He said, "Man, we don't. If I don't value me and my skin color, how can I see somebody who look like me and then in turn value them?"
Exactly.
He said, "I don't. So just like I don't care about my life, why in the hell would I care about yours or that little girl or that boy who's gonna grow up to be like me or be nothing like me or that girl gonna be like my mama who was nothing?" So they're moving with a skewed view of reality. Well, their reality is what it is.
Right.
So it's hard to talk that person into something else unless they've been shown, right? I tell a story all the time about how the first time I took, I'll just say a bunch of my homies to Sunset. Back in the day when Sunset had Miyagi's and Dublins and coconut teasers, right? Back in the day with cracking, when you can park your car in the middle of the street because you couldn't drive because it was so cracking and so crowded on Sunset. I remember I took them down there one night. They're off in the projects. They didn't even know it was there. They're like, "What street is this?"
Yeah.
Wait, they do this every Saturday? They didn't even know that you can even go on that side of town. Bro, I'm just on Sunset.
Yeah.
I'm not out of state. I'm not like somewhere. This is Sunset Boulevard. This is an open, free street you can drive down.
Right.
They had no clue.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
And that's literally just exposure, like what you're exposed to. You know what I mean? Like, and to piggyback off of what you were saying about like how you hate the black on black, and those numbers are also skewed because they say, oh, this many black men commit murder. Let's just say 50%. Black men commit 50% of the murder in America. But what they leave out is that 50% of black men that are accused of murder are acquitted. You know what I mean? Like the majority of them are acquitted.
Yeah.
Because they're being processed unjustly or unfairly.
For sure.
So you want to talk about the numbers of what we're accused of, but you don't want to talk about the numbers of when they're acquitted or they don't stick or they don't have to go to jail. You're just talking about what they're trying to be charged for. So they skew those numbers all the time and for their advantage of their conversation.
For sure. That's I'm glad you brought Glasses up, man. I'm glad to get him on, even for just a second.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear when you and him get together. And y'all do y'all pod. You're supposed to be working on that, right?
Yeah. Well, I've been trying to
dope.
get set it up, but that dude is busy.
Super busy. That's why even when he texted me back, he said, "Man, right now?" I was like, "Yes, I got one question." That's why he logged on because he know he about to go live anyway.
Right.
I did want to show you this clip and ask you what you think about this. This deals with I'm not sure if anybody else in the chat has seen this. You heard about what happened with Job Corps? Job Corps went from
solved. Like they got rid of it. Yeah.
The Job Corps went from closing June 30th to June 2nd, sending thousands of kids to the streets across the United States of America. Peep this real quick.
So you have nowhere to go?
Nowhere. Nobody.
What are they telling you? Like your counselors or anything? Nobody's asking you nothing?
Nope. They just said you got to be gone within 3 days.
Okay, so you get your duffel bag and pack your stuff. What's your next step?
Probably a shelter.
A shelter.
Yeah,
There's plenty of videos too. There's more videos about it than that one. Like it's.
for sure.
Do you know how many people I know that Job Corps saved their life?
Bro, one of my ex-girlfriends, a bunch of my friends.
Dude, it has saved so many people's life because people try to look at things in one light, like, oh, that's for people that ruin their life or this and that. But what about the people that were born in adverse situations or grew up in adverse situations where they have very limited opportunity to succeed? Very limited opportunity to succeed. And then here comes Job Corps to help you do this, help you learn to type, help you learn to read, help you learn how to work, help you learn how to fill out an application. It's a lot of people in this world that didn't have what we take for granted.
Which is why I feel it's like I hate when people do the whole blanket situation for a whole people, right?
Right.
It's like for me to say all white people anything or all black people anything, I'm
Generalizing.
already starting off wrong.
Yeah, the generalizing.
Yeah, generalizing. You're starting off wrong off top because I would hate to be viewed in the same kind of way, and I know what that feels like because I walk around every single day, and it happens. It happens. I'm a big black guy walking around LA, like, and driving around LA. I see it more than the average person of just like the perception of whatever they think I am, like whether they think I'm a thug or not a nice guy or a gangbanger or whatever the case may be. Just having these assumptions about what I would be like or what I'm like or how I am, and it trips me out, man, because it's those kids. Like you said, people are coming out of situations where no parents or homeless and trying to get their life back on track. So what's crazy is these programs were made for people trying to get their life on track, trying to get jobs, trying to get situations, and you generalize the people who are trying to get their life back on track. What's the point of building the system if you don't believe in the people that's in the system or that should be using the system?
Right.
Right. What's the point of how can I do you know how people have like my homegirl got a bunch of homes for single mothers who maybe got out of jail or going through abusive relationships to stay in these homes, and then I think like 6 months to a year, like a year program to where they get them placed in other homes in their houses and stuff like that for them and the kids. Imagine talking down about those mothers, generalizing them in their life before they got to that situation. Oh, they should be messing with a man who be abusing them. What? Or they should have been doing drugs. What are we talking about? Like what? That lady, that kid, that child just said she don't know what she gonna do. I might look for a shelter. Do y'all know what happens in shelters to young men and women?
Especially women.
Especially women, the horror stories that you hear about how crazy and shady it is in these shelters, which mostly all of them are co-ed.
Yeah.
Yes, they have women's shelters, but a lot of them, or most of them, are co-ed. A lot of craziness happens, things I won't speak up on live, but you can imagine what I mean.
Yeah.
Imagine this young lady got kicked out of the comfortability of trying to find something, and then now she has to go to a shelter where you don't know nobody from nobody,
right?
And can't expect people to protect you who also need protection from other people who need protection.
Like, and all the non-cost-effective programs in America, out of all the non-cost-effective programs in America, there's a bunch of them. There's but how do you weigh the success of one versus 10 that didn't succeed? Like, it's not cost effective, but what about the other programs that are not cost effective? Why do you shut down that one?
Yeah.
Do you know, like, I'm just trying to think, like, right now, like, damn, what would my family friends have done without Job Corps? You know, I know a bunch of people that benefited from the Job Corps. You know what I
For
mean?
sure.
Like, and it's just, damn, like, okay, we're cutting costs. That couldn't have been the last one. Like,
Yeah, that'd be Jimmy Real. So I'm thinking like, bruh, cutting costs on what? Like, there's tons of things y'all spending money on. Like, I'm just gonna say it. Like, you don't really, they don't even want to talk about the numbers they spend on war, or they send to spend aid to some other country for a war we're not even a part of. Right? You know, the money they send to. I just watched Biden spend so much money for a war we're not even a part of. In the numbers in the trillions. First of all, remember, we're supposed to be in debt. Let's start there. But I watched him send trillions of dollars to another country for a war we're not even a part of. But you would cut the Job Corps
because
to
of
be
low
kids and
graduation
women
rate,
and
not being able to place people in good jobs. Well, isn't that on the businesses?
that's what I'm saying.
Isn't it on the businesses? Isn't it on other things? Other things are ineffective, not the job. Like, I just feel there could have been a lot more things that could have reconciled before that.
They don't care, bro. And it's tough. And I cry looking at a lot of this stuff because I'm like, yo, you start to feel hopeless. I talked about this before. Like, you never want to get, especially me as a Christian man, you don't ever want to feel hopeless. But the human side of me is like, fam, that ain't like, what? That's one video I watched. I've seen many clips. People didn't know what they was gonna do, where they was gonna go. Younger people, older people, men and women. Like, one day you just like, yo, you gotta go, you gotta leave.
That's
Like,
like,
what?
remember the thing where they were shutting down people that couldn't afford their housing or whatever?
Yeah,
They were just evicting people, just getting them
but
getting
you
them
gotta
out.
go. That's it. Figure
Gotta
it
go.
out.
Gotta go. And it's
And
like,
then we'll later on complain about a homeless problem.
it's
Yeah, man. Let me
backwards. It's really backwards. And
backwards, bro.
that's why we got to really like buckle down and get our survival skills together about how we can really survive with less and do more with less. How do we do more with less? You know, like,
Yeah, I wish I had some music to play to cleanse our palate so we can move to lighter things than these heavy topics. I do got an interesting topic. I really want to know what you think about this. I'll read it. I'll read it to you.
okay.
Let me see here. Okay, so check this headline. A man reveals the decision he made after he wasn't invited to his stepdaughter's graduation, despite raising her. Okay, you got it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna read these two paragraphs for you, 2 pages, whatever. Not that long. I'll go through them fast. But let me know what you think about this. He said, "I need to get something off my chest. Yesterday, my stepdaughter graduated, and I wasn't invited. I've been in her life since she was 4 months old. Married her mother when she turned 2. I've been there consistent, showing up, providing, loving her like my own. But come graduation day, I wasn't given a seat. Like, word, all right." He said, "They told me there were only 8 tickets. Let me tell you who made the list. My wife, her 2 sisters, her biological dad, her uncle, her grandma, her aunt, and her boyfriend. 8 tickets, and I wasn't one of them. Bet." He also said, "I've been sitting with this pain all day. I took time off work, 3 days gone. I drive trucks. That's money and time I can't get back. And still I got left out." He said, "So today I made some decisions. I removed her from my car and health insurance. Took her off everything I've been covering. Told her mother, since she's grown and graduated, she can go stay with her father, the one she made room for over me. Now there's tension in my house, emotions are high, but I'm standing on what I feel because the truth is I'm so hurt. Not mad, just deeply, genuinely hurt. I don't need applause. I just needed to speak my truth. Thanks for listening."
Don't worry, you're not gonna get no applause.
One thing ain't come from that is an applause.
The
But
applause.
Let me ask you what you think about that, though.
I think his issue is not with the daughter. The issue is with the wife or the woman who didn't value enough to give you a ticket.
Wait, what you mean? She got 8. She got 8 tickets. The daughter gives tickets.
My son has no control over the tickets. Like,
I got you. That's what you're saying. I got
my
what you're saying.
me and my wife decide, and the other home, his mom decide who gets tickets. Like me.
Wait a minute. Is this a? Do we know the age?
I don't know the age of this person.
Because if she's an adult,
is this college?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I assume the way he's speaking, you're right. Because my son graduated when he was young. He don't have that privilege to divvy out the tickets.
And I'm not letting him divvy out the tickets either.
Right,
I decide
sure.
who get these damn tickets, not you.
I'm assuming she's older because it sounded like it's her. Yeah, he said he wasn't given a seat. Yeah, so if we find out the mother did the tickets, then for sure, I dig what you're saying. But I'm not sure yet. So I'm taking it as face value as the daughter didn't invite him.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because that's all I have. That's all I'm saying.
So the daughter gave her pecking order of who she wanted at her thing.
Yep.
But this is also falls in line of expecting some shit in return from what you do. Right? Like, I expect to be treated better than this. I expect you to value me more than this. Or whatever. That may not be the case. The work you put in, I don't know if it's disrespectful. Is that what you said? Is it respect?
Yeah, to your point, you're right. I don't know either, but I'm only going by what he said.
Yeah.
He said he felt disrespected.
You feel disrespected, but you more than feel disrespected, because I would not kick somebody out my house and make them live a whole different life because you didn't find it in your heart to have me at your graduation. Okay, that's just what you don't value me as. But you also don't operate based off how you feel somebody feels about you.
Mm-hmm.
You do the things that you do in life because this is how you're being pushed or whatever it is there. Like, I don't need a cookie in return. I don't need applause. Like he said, like, actually, I don't know why you expecting applause.
Yeah.
Like, I understand his hurt.
That was crazy he said that.
I understand, like, him feeling like, damn, I don't mean that much to you. Shit, I thought I could buy my way into your life. Like, no, that wasn't the case. The work you did didn't put you higher in the pedestal.
It's funny. I thought about this, man, and one thing I agree with you for sure is I wouldn't have went the extra mile to doing what he did as far as like the results of it, like insurance, car payment, stuff like that. Because the reason why I say that, because sometimes reading stuff on the internet, you kind of get a little frustrated because you don't have context. All I have is his words, right? And with his words, I have to piece in stuff that I don't have, right? Mm-hmm. Now I got to piece in the age. How old is the daughter? Did she have control over the tickets? What was y'all relationship like? Because though you raised her since she was 2, what if y'all got a bad relationship the whole time? What if she never liked you? Y'all never liked each other? So that was the thing, right? It could be a ton of things.
Different
and I don't
variables,
have that. It's variables, right? I don't have that context, which I wish I did. But if I had to go by just this, I think he was extra out because of the things he withheld. Like, she got to go health insurance, car payment, right? Car payment. That was extra out. Me, in this same context, I would have been hurt, completely hurt that she didn't invite me to her graduation. But I wouldn't have done none of the things he did to do that. I would have expressed myself, though.
Mm-hmm.
I would have let her know that I'm hurt. Like, I don't know, because that's a lot of people. Rios, that's a lot of people. Look, I've been with my son. It's crazy. I had a picture. I've been in my son's life since he was 5, right? Yeah. So I'm a bonus dad. So I know what it's like to. I know. I mean, I would be the one to know what it's like to be shunned away because I wasn't the biological father. But the reason why I don't know, because my son never made me feel that way.
Right.
he always make because his dad is around. His dad married and stuff too, but his dad ended up deadbeat dad, or I don't think because he married his own family, and he also is in connection with his son, and they have their own relationship. And we both respect each other. Never been problems.
Right.
That's the homie actually. But I couldn't imagine a day where he graduates from like college. You know what I mean? And then because my son was going to Long Beach City College before he left school though. But I could imagine him graduating from college and then his 8 tickets went to his mama, his biological dad, his uncle such and such, his cousin, like his girl. I'd be like, nigga, what?
Yeah.
Like what? You know what I'm saying? I'm being real. I'll be hurt. I'll truly be hurt. But I'm not taking him off my car payment, kicking him out the house, and I wouldn't do all that. You know what I mean? That's a little extreme. But then again, you and I are only going off of what we have here, in context.
Right. And it's like you go like the extreme, like you go take them off insurance. So if they get injured or something bad happens to them tomorrow, you ain't got not a care in the world. Maybe you shouldn't have been at the graduation.
Maybe that's a sign of C.
Like, this is why you wasn't at the graduation. Like how you took me off your insurance and this and that.
Yeah.
Like that's your
Because
dog.
that could be a sign of how you act in the past, right?
Right.
He might have been super petty in the past.
Super. You don't know what to like. Then he took it to the internet. Also another sign.
Yeah. You're right.
Also another sign. Like,
right.
My wife has been in my son's life since he's been 2. He's never not been in his mom's life. She's always been there, but my wife has been there since he's 2, and she doesn't deserve to be at the graduation just because she's been there since he's 2. She deserves to be there because of the work that she put in for him to graduate.
Yeah.
To get to this point in life, without her, a lot of this shit doesn't happen. What did you do? What did you contribute? You can't just say, I'm the man of the house. I deserve, look, come on, man. Like,
yeah. I've seen this video attached to this, and I thought this was it's the same thing, but it's a baby daddy, baby mama problems. And a guy was having I seen a clip of a guy talking to his wife, and he was asking his wife, why did you put your baby daddy on child support? He talking about
I know what you're talking about.
You see that clip?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess she had just did it. And he was like, yo, I take care of you and your baby, and I take care of the family. Why?
And you saw when I was on child support.
Exactly. You know what my situation is? Why would you do that to somebody? You know what I mean? So I saw this clip. I want to play this clip real quick. Not that clip, another clip.
Yeah.
The reason that's what made me tell her, say, man, take him off of child support.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you that day, and this ain't, like, I wasn't trying to be in your business or nothing, and she wasn't trying to put me in your business.
Mm-hmm.
But you know the type of person she is, man.
Yeah.
Like, she's a very, very caring person. You know what I'm saying? Like, if she feel like she done you wrong, like, it bother her.
Mm-hmm.
So you had just got your job, you was getting on your feet, and they had took a chunk of your check. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you wasn't tripping. You was tripping, but you wasn't tripping. You know what I'm saying? Because it went to Zay.
Yeah.
And I know how that feel. You know what I'm saying? And when she was telling me, I was like, man, I need you to do me a favor. Bro, it wasn't no second guessing. It wasn't no let me think about it. It wasn't none of that. I said, man, I need you to do me a favor. She said, what? I said, man, can you take him off of child support tomorrow? She said, yeah. I said, straight up? Because, bro, it blew my mind. You know what I'm saying?
Because even with you saying that, like, it was always in talks, like, she just like, I just got.
So, yeah, we need to go into the whole other part of it. I thought that was some real nigga stuff right there.
That's some real shit.
Yeah, it's especially if you like, I understand people go through their stuff, and child support in so many ways can be wrong, right? And I'm not just blaming a woman putting a man on child support. I'm blaming the system of child support is illegal in so many different ways, right? I have a friend who he runs the page Child Support is Fraud, who beat his child support case. My man TJ from Compton, TJ Santana, he beat his child support case in court.
Okay.
Because he started reading the laws and going over the laws, and ended up defending himself in court and beating child support case himself. Now he has a business where he helps people fight child support. Not people who deserve child support, but child support as a system, because it's wrong how they get you to the child support. It's wrong. Like he got the laws behind everything. He has a whole. I think his page is child support is fraud.
Okay.
If y'all ever get a chance, check that out. Child support is fraud. But the system of child support is wrong, and it's built on not legalities, just kind of like the agendas with men and women. Period. And the money grab. And I love to watch this guy, or like that guy on the clip that you and I saw with the wife, and to defend that, to fight that, because that ruins people, especially especially the men who are taking care of their babies and want to take care of their babies.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Because they suffer from that also.
So I've been through all that, right? Like, and let me tell you, about having your check garnished is a horrible feeling.
You gotta be. I can imagine.
I think it's even higher now, but that 40% being, I think they could do up to 40 or maybe 60. I don't know. But having that garnish happen to your check after you put in 2 weeks or whatever of hard work in there, and it's like,
crazy.
Damn, wait. And without saying too much, because I don't want to do anything like that.
For sure.
I feel I still will never understand why the system is we have joint custody 50-50. We have them the same amount of time. Why do I have to pay for the time that you have them? If that's the case, maybe you shouldn't have them. Maybe you should be with me more because I can afford it. If you can't afford it, you haven't put yourself in a position to raise your child. Why would you take from this pot so that I'm going to be struggling while you over there?
That's the point I don't understand. I don't understand. If we have 50-50, what? Technically, we don't have 50-50.
Right.
Technically, you got 70 to my 30 or 75-25.
And I'm paying for medical insurance too.
I'm paying for everything.
Because if I'm on child support, you got to pay for medical insurance. So I'm doing all of this.
That's crazy, yo. It's crazy, bro. And one of my friends, I won't say his name, but one of my friends, his baby mother is so toxic. He hasn't seen his son in, I want to say, maybe 10, 11, 12 years, maybe. He was a knucklehead back in the day, gangbanging, all kind of stuff, whatever. But him and his baby mom ended up getting into it, arguing. She called the police and told the police that he put his hands on her. And he ended up doing 2 years. They had a baby right before that. Got out of jail. Changed his life. Not when I say change his life, I mean like, job, regular. He rapped a little bit. He rapped and did career rap and stuff like that too. But also was trying to raise his son. Obviously, not with you, not with her at all, because he's paying child support. He's paying child support. He's trying to raise his son. She don't want him to see the son. He like, look, man, we ain't got to do nothing, but how can I not see my son? Anyway, so he been fighting for his son this whole time. And even so I don't know if you remember, Rios, I don't know if he was following me at that time, but back in the day, before I changed my life, my Instagram page was like Instagram stories.
Yeah, I remember. It was my favorite people I followed was you and Pun. Because I knew I could have a
for sure
time. Like, let me see what Lucc posted today. Yeah,
for sure. So you knew the craziness. So imagine my wife, or just say if I would have married my baby mom, took my old Instagram post, brought it to court, and was like, "See, he crazy."
Yeah, that's cold.
This is what he think about women. This is what he think about this and blacks. And this is what he think about Mexicans. This is what he think about fat people. This is what he think about ugly people. This is what, and a bunch of stuff for Instagram. Now, you consciously know how I joke, just like you know how Pun joke.
Yeah.
But you would take that stuff to court like it's the real me. Like, I'm not joking. He crazy. Look what he said about black people. Like, you know what I mean? And so she ended up winning that case, and the judge
Damn.
She remained custody, and he couldn't see him or something like that. And after so much evidence, you fight. This man been married. He got married, 2 kids, live somewhere else. He got a whole family. He's an upstanding citizen. He's like a great dude. And to this day, the only reason why he see his son is because people will follow her page and take pictures of him on his birthday.
Damn.
That's how he know what he looked like at this age now. I will say one thing. He's a diehard Raiders fan. His son name is Raider.
Okay.
So I'll just say that. But I feel for him because that's tough. Your firstborn. So could you imagine, Rios? Could you imagine that, bro? What are we talking about?
I fought tooth and nail. I fought tooth and nail. You have to establish your right as a father. You have to establish your right as a father in that paperwork so that they can't just take them anywhere and do whatever. You got to do the work to
He's still doing it. He's still doing work.
Because thank God he hasn't done nothing he shouldn't have done.
Right. Because it'd be worse. Yeah.
Because the lengths and the extent that I would go to have mine is crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You ain't got to say. Right.
And it's recognized. You know what I mean? Nah, I can't do that because I know this is the cause of that. You know what I mean? So.
Right.
I don't play with mine like that. I don't play. That's because that relationship I pray for him. I pray for that brother. I pray for that young man that they will be able to build once he gets older, and they'll be able to, you won't be able to make up for lost time, but you can put that energy and love into that person when you do get the opportunity to be there, and they have an opportunity to make a choice of, I want my father in my life.
Yeah. Look, it's funny. It reminds me of a situation. I don't know one of my friends who I won't name, but he's an older gentleman, and just right over me. Not too much older, just right over me. But he had just reconciled with his daughter, who's in college, who he haven't seen in 10 years, something like that, and just reconciled with her. So she was obviously a baby when the breakup and the last viewing and all that stuff like that, right? You know how they reconcile?
How?
One day, the daughter. That's why I say God is good, man. This ain't nothing but God. One day, the daughter, the adult now daughter, but she's going to college, was sitting with her auntie, right? Her mom's sister, not his sister, her mom's sister.
Right.
And she was talking about her dad or something like that, whatever. And her auntie leaned over and said, "You know your mama lied about your daddy, right?"
Damn.
And she's like, "What?" She said her auntie told her the whole thing, yeah, your mama, she ain't asked your daddy. Your daddy was a great man. He took care of you, did all. Just told her one day. One day I was just tired of the lies and watching, maybe knowing some dude somewhere suffering because built on these lies your mom told.
Damn.
She said, so next thing you know, one day he got a call from a random number. He obviously didn't have locked in because how would he know his child's number?
Yeah.
And because he would always send birthday gifts and stuff like that, whatever. And I don't think nothing was making it to her, And one day his aunt just said, your mama lied about your daddy. And just told the whole thing. So she called, and then I met her. I met her right after one of the first visits. And she's amazing, super talented, amazing. I'm not going to say what she doing as far as her career, what she want to do. She's super talented, amazing, beautiful young lady. And she called him and they had a conversation. And she wanted to hear from him, his side of the story.
Yeah.
So this is the first time she getting wow, none of what I was told was true. Not one part of it. None of it.
Now, what's the reaction towards the one who lied
she
to
her? She don't care. Whatever he did. He did what he did, whatever. People will live in that bitterness, bro.
But I wonder how the daughter feels. How does the daughter feel towards the mother who lied?
I don't know. I don't know that. Because they didn't talk about that either.
You know what? Godfather of Harlem. Have you seen that?
Yes.
I just started. Sure. I'm on 4 episodes.
For the first season?
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay. I just finished all the seasons.
Oh my God. When I
Amazing
say
show.
amazing show. And
His daughter?
dude, and her child and the wife, Mamie, and is that like, damn, they just all encompassing every topic. I've avoided it because I thought it was just a drug dealing kind of show.
No,
No.
yeah, no. I mean, obviously, yes,
Yeah, it's
the
Bumpy
story
Johnson.
he drugs for sure, but man, look, when they get into, and here's the thing, what I like about the story is the character development. So there's people you see now, you as that early in episodes.
Yeah.
Trust me, a change is coming for a
Damn.
bunch of different things. A change is coming for a bunch of different things. It's tough watching that part now because I remember just like looking at Bumpy's relationship with his daughter and how crazy that is and all that stuff like that. You just be like, yeah, that's crazy. And then you just gotta, and then just Bumpy, who he is, and him and his wife together, and the Italians, and then their relationship with Bumpy.
Yeah.
Bro, that's a great show.
It's crazy. And then so what I ended it with Big D Buster with the Cuban guy who tried to kill Bumpy. That's how
Let me tell
that
you something.
ended. And
Let me tell you something. Big D Buster. I just finished watching season 4 or 5, I think.
Damn, it's 5 seasons?
Yeah. I just finished watching. I literally just watched the last episode for season, I think it's 4. It's either 4 or 5. Big D Buster still made a show, a viewing, still made even in this season.
It's in the last.
Even in this, he pops up again.
Oh my God. Let me see how many seasons.
And one thing about it is when you see him, it's no good.
None. None whatsoever.
No good when he show up.
So there's four seasons.
Yep.
The 4th season premiered April 13th, 2025. Okay.
I just finished it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Because see, this is why Bumpy's show, Godfather Harlem, is so dope. Because you get to see Bumpy Johnson's story, as well as they can tell it without, you got to get into the dramatics of the show, right? Malcolm X, right? You get to get into some of the mafia figures.
Mm-hmm.
Political we learned
figures, Kennedy, Powell.
J. Edgar Hoover. Here's the thing. Frank Lucas is coming.
Because Frank Lucas is his driver. Was Frank Lucas his driver?
Yeah. In real life, yes.
Okay.
But you got a ways to go. But you're gonna get into it's crazy. And I love to see Black success. Yes, it's messed up. Bumpy was dealing with dope. Right? It's messed up because that douchey. That douchey. Yes, Bumpy was dealing with some dope, but Mamie was for the people. What's my man name? The poet.
James Baldwin?
James Baldwin. Yeah,
really?
Bro, this is Harlem, bro. This is Harlem in like the 30s and what's it, the 30s?
Yeah.
40s?
Ooh.
No, this is the 50s and 60s, right?
Let me see.
Yeah, I'm sorry. 30s and 40s. That was sinners.
Yeah.
It was the 50s and 60s. The 50s and 60s. So you can imagine, bro. You talking about jazz legends, Harlem artists and poets, and Malcolm X.
1963.
So legendary figures that you got to deal with. Because Bumpy Johnson was the man.
Right.
He was him. So you got to deal with some legendary, and I'm talking about a man of class. Put the dope dealing to the side. We talking about a classy, very classy gentleman, right? And wasn't afraid of nothing.
Dude, I can't wait. Even Ayana was watching it with me. She was like, "Oh," I was like,
"Yeah, it's good, bro. It's good, bro. It's really good. You gonna smoke through them seasons too, for sure. His boy is a rider. His two partners, his two men, the side men, they cold.
Hey, I love it.
They cold, yeah.
I'm hooked already.
You gonna love it, man. You gonna love it. Godfather Harlem. Y'all literally just watched the last episode, the last season, about a couple of days ago, and It's tough. It's tough. Yeah. When you get to that Frank Lucas story, you're gonna be like, what is going on? Because that ain't gonna start like that. See, all we know is that was his driver, and then Frank Lucas became Frank Lucas, right?
Yeah.
Being under Bumpy, learning from him, and then becoming the man. He died. Frank Lucas becomes the man. But this is telling the story. I'm not sure if it's true or not, because in these shows they embellish sometimes. This is before he knew Frank.
Oh,
So this say you ain't gonna meet him as the driver. You gonna meet him as who is this country nigga from such and such causing all this trouble.
okay.
So you're gonna get into a bunch of other stuff.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So yeah, it's really good. It's really good. It's really good. You're gonna love it. Hey, I did want to bring up this one one thing. I want to get your ideas. I mean your thoughts on. You've been hearing about I forgot my man's name. His name Ibrahim Touré. Is it Ibrahim Touré? Let me see.
Yeah, from
Burkina Faso.
Yeah.
So first of all, let me say my thoughts. I love homie. Like I'm rolling with homie. He ain't nothing but like I said, I always had a saying: for the world to change, the old got to die. They got to die out, right? It's the reason why we have senators on that don't lose their seat until they basically die, which is crazy. That's why the laws when you wonder why laws don't change and all kinds of stuff like that, because you got people who look at you like they've been looking at you since the 40s.
That's like Bumpy Johnson. He said things have changed. He said I haven't. Boom.
Right. 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 So, but I like his energy because he's young, militant, but love his people and love the continent of Africa.
Yeah.
He loves the continent of Africa. I just read a new thing he did where he well, first of all, he kicked all the French out. Salute to them for that. And he's giving all the seniors free electricity and free
healthcare.
Free electricity, free, what is it?
Healthcare.
Healthcare, right? He also, the president of Niger and another president, they're getting together to start their own bank, right? And
I think Senegal.
So anyway, Senegal. And they got with China to build a new camera security like system around the country. It's like a big $1 billion thing they got going on. They got an agreement with China to build some for the safety of something they got going on. I'm sorry. It'll make them number one and number two in tech globally.
What?
Yeah, Africa and China, their relationship with their partner will make them the big dogs in tech globally. Because Africa is already a powerhouse with tech. In China, obviously, we know they are a powerhouse in tech.
They have all the minerals that you need for the tech.
And Africa has all the resources and minerals you have for the tech, which is why America and European and everything raped that country, tried to rape it dry. But natural minerals is what happens with natural minerals. It's going to keep growing, keep manifesting, right? And I say all that to say this. They don't like that.
No.
Right.
Well, that's why Gaddafi is gone.
That's why Gaddafi is gone.
Trying to start their own currency and do this and that,
That's
like buy oil outside of American currency. Like,
they also kicked China out, and I forgot what country. They refuse to use their oil infrastructure because they now want to get. They now are resourcing oil from their own country. I forgot what country that was that did that. But here's the thing: that oil company was tied to another company that was like responsible for don't misquote me, but don't quote me. That was responsible for like a bunch of tragedies, some tragedy happened. It's like a big oil company, the tragic stories behind these big conglomerates. But anyway, all that's happening and it's putting a target on Ibrahim's back.
Well, they've already attempted, I think, like 20-something assassinations on him.
Right. So he got, and which I understand. I don't agree at all. But America's gonna be America, and Europe is gonna be Europe. So I seen this article. I seen this the other day, this clip, and I couldn't believe. I could because it's America, but the irresponsibility of this. and who they used, Uncle Tom, to do this just saddens me. But check this clip out real quick.
Burkina Faso, a lot of great things going on to progress them forward, okay? But then when you look at the military part of it, knowing that that's the epicenter of global terrorism.
What?
It was my time to illuminate that this is probably their weakest point, and there needs to be sufficient resources going towards for the whole fight of terrorism in that country.
What?
You know how dangerous that is?
What?
You said they are the epicenter? Fam, you mean to tell me you sit inside of America calling a country, one country in Africa, the epicenter, or maybe you're talking about the whole Africa?
What?
Both is bad.
That's very negligent to...
That was insane to say. But this the things, right? You brought up Gaddafi. These are the things they start saying to rile the people up for what they're about to do. Right? They start letting you know, look,
propaganda.
Bro, when 9/11 went down, bro, you remember like I remember.
Right.
When 9/11 went down, could you remember how they were marketing America? Everybody have your American flags and they hate us and all this stuff like that. You remember that time when they had all of us convinced how they had us convinced how all of Saudi Arabia hated our guts.
Right.
They
How
hate
can
us.
you say Burkina Faso is surrounded by Nigeria, Benin, Togo, Ghana, Liberia, Guinea, Sierra Leone, Niger, Senegal, Gambia, Guinea? Like, when have these ever been considered the number one terrorists in the...
Fam, I've never, let me tell you something, let me keep it real. And it's not that I'm not educated. Let me keep it real. I've never heard of Burkina Faso in my entire life until this dude. Meaning, it wasn't like one of the countries that you would hear about in Africa all the time.
Right.
So for it to be the epicenter of terrorism, nigga, since when? I've never heard of it.
Never.
And that's I'm not saying, obviously they exist. It's a country, obviously. But what I'm saying is so many countries in Africa. I never heard about the epicenter of terrorism one.
Because the thing is, like Thomas Sankara, right? Like he was the one, the revolutionary before him. Then he went down, and then somebody else sold out Burkina Faso. The reason why we don't know about it is because they've been being pillaged and robbed blind of their resources. So of course they don't talk about it,
right?
Because they want to keep their dirty work on the low.
For sure.
But now it's on the forefront when somebody steps up to fight against this. Like, no, you got to get out of here. And not only is it for me, now everybody else is stepping up to follow suit with what I'm doing. Like, oh, Senegal is stepping up. Oh, they're stepping up. Now they're coming along. And now we're all trying to get everybody, like Antwerp, right? Like all that stuff with Sierra Leone and get all that out of there for the diamonds, the blood diamonds. Like, no, you know how we're going to solve this? We're just going to get rid of y'all. Get out of here.
Right.
That's
yeah,
it.
for sure. Right. Because
y'all,
because they are the disease. Our country is fine with us. Look, that man, look what he said. He started off the conversation right. He's doing great work to move them forward. And then called them the epicenter of terrorism, literally the next line.
That shit is crazy.
That's insane. Check this out. I just one more thing I need you to see. Because I couldn't believe this. This guy here, Eric Prince, calls for Africa's recolonization over corrupt leadership. Wait, where's this guy at? Let me see. Do I have the video? I don't know if I have the video. I think I do have the video. Let me see, do I have the video? I don't think I have the video. I think I did have the video. I do have the video. It's on my phone. But this guy, he's a retired, here it is. Let me send it to myself. a retired, I think a Navy guy or something like that. I need to play you this because check this out. Because this deals with the same thing. Because so I show you this to say.
Let me say this. When has America ever been worried about terrorist acts in Africa?
Gaddafi.
Like,
right.
When have you ever been worried about cross-border territorial terrorism between Mali and Burkina Faso? When has that ever been a big thing for y'all? Because they haven't attacked America. They doing stuff between intercultural shit. Like, it's so funny. Whatever.
Check this out.
Then it's time for us to just put the imperial hat back on to say, we're going to govern those countries if you're incapable of governing yourselves, because enough is enough. We're done being invaded.
Because our own national security risk is at stake.
Exactly.
National security interests are at stake.
You can say that about pretty much all of Africa. They're incapable of governing themselves and benefiting their citizens because the governments there are all about looting and pillaging and lining their pockets and going shopping in Paris instead of actually making their country better.
People on the left are going to watch this. They're going to say, wait a minute, Eric Prince is talking about being a colonialist again.
Absolutely. Yes.
What is it? Okay, I'm not a professional. I'm not super. What?
That's crazy.
Like, okay, really? Like, they're not capable of governing themselves. Then leave and see what happens.
Leave and see what happens.
Leave
them alone. Let's see.
Leave them alone. Because guess what? There is a difference between wealth. The wealth gap there is crazy. Like, it's crazy. Let them, if they can't figure it out, that's their own country. Let them figure it out.
Yeah, and so the more these videos pop up, the more it reminds you. The fact that you heard the name and the first thing you thought about, you, Rios, you said Gaddafi, because that's the first one I thought about. And the sentiment basically across the internet for people who are on Africa's side, basically. That man just said he called for recolonization of the whole entire Africa because they can't govern themselves, is what that man just said. Nigga, you ain't talking to a bunch of kids.
Like, also, Egypt can't govern themselves?
Like, we can't govern ourselves?
Let's start naming places.
That's crazy. So it's like these are excuses. Look, man. Look. This is what I do understand. You're not going to be able to do, America in general. You're not going to be able to do everything you've done the way you've done it before, because times are changing, people are changing, the mind frames of people are changing. Y'all messed up by giving us free internet. And what I mean by that is that now I have too much information for me to just believe anything. I got too many people in the tip of my fingers that I can just get a real clear answer from. Or I remember you can lie to me about Africa and show me kids with flies in their eyes and big old stomachs and with their ribs showing through their chest until the internet, and because I've been in Africa, so until the internet, so I start seeing that, wait a minute, there's big old mansions in Africa.
Right.
There's wealthy, rich people in Africa. Oh, it's not the ground is rich in resources that I can see that on my own. Oh, you can tell me about Egypt, and I start talking to somebody in Egypt. You know, so it's crazy watching this happen, this narrative happen, but it's just an excuse for y'all want to go over there and start trouble, bomb and war. You need the American people behind you. The funny part is y'all gonna try to do it anyway.
Right.
But here's the thing. I think America, we still got the big badass army of America, right? We do. That's one thing we did do right, killing and war, right? But I don't think you're much of a threat as you used to be in the global landscape of it all.
Right.
And I think we're finding out with, like, not necessarily Brexit, but like People removing the American dollar out of their country.
Right. And like you think about it, like geographically, right? You look at Russia, how huge Russia is geographically, and how it's right there by China. And then Africa is right across, you know what I mean? Like right there. And they see the influence that China is having. They seeing the connection between Russia and China. And you know, Russia is tied in with Burkina Faso.
Yeah.
Like he said, France out, Russia, I'll look to you guys for help here and there for infrastructure. But there's no reason that Trump is trying to say, I want Greenland. Because if you look at the map, like what we have, United States in the grand scale of things is small.
Yeah.
It's very small compared. So they're trying to do everything they can to battle this Eastern Front, whatever that is that's going on over there. And Africa's right in the middle with all the resources, everything. And so once they get their shit together, they know it's trouble.
You also know that
they can't govern themselves. We got Morocco, we got Egypt, Sudan,
crazy,
Libya, Algeria.
It's crazy to hear it in 2025. That sounds like an interview from 1960 something.
Then why the hell y'all all out there in the safaris and shit? Y'all so worried. Y'all out there hunting all the damn time. Y'all in also.
And look, who's your guides?
Yeah, exactly.
All Africans. That's crazy, bro. And you also know that Africa, Europe, Asia, and first of all, Europe and Asia can fit inside of Africa.
Yeah. Congo is bigger than Texas?
Yes.
The Congo is bigger than Texas, buddy. Like
that's just the Congo. So but I think though, Rios, man, a change is coming, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
People are tired of lying, big bad, lying ass America. Even Americans have the same sentiment of like, I don't buy the American dream thing. Yes, you can be rich and become this thing of materialistic presence if you want here, but I also don't like how you do the people. I don't like how you do my people here inside your own country. I don't like how you lie and what you do to the world of rape and colonization and the destruction of anything beautiful. Anything beautiful, it's like just a complete overhaul of your American stench.
They just recently started telling us how beautiful Mexico is.
Which is insane.
They just recently started promoting tourism to Mexico and Cancun and the coast out there, how beautiful Mexico is and the pyramids and stuff. We right next door. They told us for the longest time. Ain't shit there.
That's crazy. And then it takes people to travel. It takes people to know, do your own research. There's a lot of information on the internet, but a lot of bad information. So make sure you cipher through and know what you're researching, know what you're looking up, because these people will tell you anything. These people, There's right now somebody who thinks, for example, I argued with a lady in the car, Uber one. This was before the pandemic, some years back. This white lady was telling me the reason why Pac and Biggie died was because they had a gang war. And so I said, lady, ma'am, I said, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. Please let me. No, shit. I heard on the news. That's your first problem, right? So my point to say that is, so there's people right now, I'm sure, to think Burkina Faso is the scariest thing since who they made us believe, Idi Amin. They're gonna make him out to be that kind of person.
Right. They want to make him out to be a dictator.
For sure.
They want to make him to be the whole outlaws, the whole crew of outlaws. Gaddafi, Idi Amin, I forget the Fatal Hussein. Like they gonna paint the picture of.
First of all, Fatal Hussein was the rapper. Saddam Hussein, the guy you talking about.
Yeah, but I'm just saying they was all named after dictators. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's just like you can see it coming. You see it happening.
Yeah.
You see it coming. You see
Yeah.
how they're going to paint it. And prayers with them to hold tight to what they got because they coming.
Yeah, I don't. You know what? I hope. I don't see. I don't know how this would end. But I just don't think it's gonna be as sweet as niggas think it is gonna be. You know what I mean? I just don't think that. I don't think it's gonna be as sweet as. And you know, Africa is not as arrogant to think, oh, you know what? We'll just do it on our own because they'll do it on their own. But we also have allies,
right?
And that's gonna be a lot of power.
And they're powering up with those that they need to power up with, like the official heavy hitters of the world.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
just saying, just get right with the good book, get right with God, get right with what's going on, because
at the end of it all, just get right because it's not gonna be. Yo, I meant to ask you. I meant to ask you, sidestep. You use Streamlabs, correct? Is that like OBS or is it just a little different?
It's basically exactly the same, except it's a little bit more that you can do with like graphics and overlays and stuff like that for like gaming. It has more options of what you can do, but it's Streamlabs is OBS.
Now Streamlabs cost. I know OBS is free.
Streamlabs, let me see. I think Streamlabs
they have a free version, maybe.
Ultra, if you want to like multi-stream, is extra.
Oh, but okay, let me ask you this. Now multi-stream obviously I don't know if they mean
the basic
2,
version
3, or 4
is free, but it includes watermarks on videos. To access premium features like higher resolution streaming, multi-streaming, and remove the watermark, users can subscribe to a paid plan.
Okay. Because I want to learn. I think I just want to learn OBS. I've been YouTubing and I have an account and everything. I've been trying to learn OBS, but I'm asking that because I want to do reaction videos, but I don't know how to do that on one screen. And OBS kind of shows you how they can do the layout on one screen, but I still don't know exactly how to do it, and I need to see it. So I was YouTubing. I'm still getting a little used to it, so I just got to figure that part out.
Send me the video so I can look at it, and then I'll look at it, and maybe me having some experience with it, I can help. Oh,
okay, Ben, I'll do that. I'll make sure I do that. But I guess, man, we chopped it about a lot today, bro. This is a super dope part. We covered a lot, actually.
Yeah.
In this podcast. And that glasses come on. That was awesome, man. So, yeah, that was dope. Oh, I also have, shout out to my man Suave. I got him looking into different we've been talking about thumbnails and stuff for this show as well. Because I'm not set on the thumbnail. I'm still working on it.
Yeah.
And I want to get some thumbnails done for us. And I got some better ideas for the as far as how to promote the show and stuff like that. So I'm just kind of getting my stuff together while I learn and work and live life and all this other stuff. So
exactly.
I'm glad we can just keep recording until we work all that rest of that part out and just keep knocking them out.
The people are part of the building system, the building process.
For sure. That's what I love about that. Everybody logged in today, man. We appreciate y'all. Myself and Rios, man, we're going to get up out of here. I'm looking forward to next week. We got more topics for y'all Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll be back with a relatable. I also need to start numbering these shows too, because I know we were doing it before. So maybe I'll go to your page, look where we was at, and then count from when I started on this page, and then start the number system then. Because I don't want people to come on my page and not know which podcast is the new one and which one's the old one.
Yeah. For sure.
So I got to start separating them by title, different cover. Shout out to Seufa. Seufa's definitely in the building. So yeah, man. So what you got on your agenda? What you got coming up? Anything you want to promote?
The Syndicate episode is going to drop tomorrow. I'll drop the episode 3 for the Syndicate tomorrow. I'm gonna drop a promo video today. Just pretty much that. I'm trying to get my stuff scheduled, get my shit together.
Okay.
but just getting this process together, trying to get Kick and everything, trying to get my bearings about me. So just doing what's working right now. The AM Wake Up Show, Coffee with Rios, the AM Wake Up Show, and doing Relatable and doing the Syndicate. Those are the 3 things on. The Imperfect Perspective is going to come back around. We're going to discuss June 13th, I think. We'll figure it out. But I'm trying not to load myself up with too much stuff so that the quality of the content doesn't suffer,
Doesn't suffer for sure. What you say? You said you trying to work out Kick something. What's going on with Kick?
Yeah, Kick, like I'm right at 72 average viewers. So I have to average 75, and then I'm going to send over the partnership there. But it's some work. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of work. But I'm gonna do it starting in the morning. Maybe I'm gonna start starting at 5 to get the following up and send them over to Kick, and just go about it like that, man.
Oh, so they start with you on YouTube and then go with you over to the Kick first?
Yeah.
Okay. Now you can't start in Kick, but from your Discord, did you go to Kick, have everybody go there for example, for a couple of morning wake up shows? You can't have people go to your Kick and then.
I think so, but it's not enough of a following to get to 75.
Oh,
If I do the AM Wake Up Show, started at 5 in the morning, and get it over to by 7 o'clock to 200 people, then I'll be like, let's go over to Kick. You know what I mean? And it should be 75. Yeah.
Dope. Okay. That's dope. Okay. Well, good luck to that, man. Myself, I got my good friend Dr. Joy. Dr. Joy's coming June 13th.
Let's go.
I'll be promoting that soon with Dr. Joy on my podcast on I don't have a name for that. I need to come up with a name for that. When I be doing these interviews, I still don't have a name. I just been doing them. And also check out my series Fighting Depression. Fighting Depression is, you can check out some videos that's up now, but I'll still be doing my Fighting Depressions. Usually it's at 5 o'clock during the week. I might do one tonight. So just tap in 5 o'clock tonight, Fighting Depression. And we just gonna keep going, man. Building content, create new content for you guys, myself and Rios. Look forward to what we have going on. Tap in, like and subscribe again. The information's on the bottom. Follow us on our platforms, and we're gonna check in with y'all soon, man. Rios, my good brother.
Subscribers is going up. We got the 1,000 goal. We had 737. That shit is slowly going up, and it's
for sure. I forgot about that, man. I am, man. I'm excited about that. I'm on. What you say? 70? What is it?
Yeah, 737 right now.
I'm on 737. That's a good number. I'm slowly but surely going up, and then I'm gonna just keep hitting these videos, man. Get them watch hours up. My watch hours, I'm at about maybe 1,500, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
So I need another 1,500 to get my first tier, which is super chats and memberships.
Well, you got to start clipping. You got to start clipping your interviews.
Like, I know. So here's my thing.
That you have.
Here's my thing. So on CapCut, you only get a certain amount of clip a month, and once you put like 2 podcasts through there, then you use your whole clips up. But I wanted to send to Suave, because I know he got to open his clip and see if he can do something for me. Because I definitely need to start posting these clips on YouTube Shorts and Instagram and TikTok as well.
Try to get like 3 clips out of each video, put a good thumbnail on it, and that'll get a 500 to 1,000 views, but that all counts towards the watch time.
For sure,
you know
for sure.
And then it'll bring people to your interviews. Like the thing with G Malone, you need to clip that. And can you be pro-black and be a gangbanger at the same time?
That's that title and everything for sure.
That clip alone might get you all your watch hours.
Right.
But that's the thing, is like, that was something that I had been sitting on that I wanted to talk about and ask. And it's stuff like that you got to think of, like, okay, this is going to be something that I'll be able to promote or clip for Relatable to bring people back to Relatable, and just keep clipping like things. Have 1 or 2 things that you think that are going to be relevant, that are going to garner some attention. Glasses is for sure one, you know what I mean? Like, and then your things with problem 211, and just find, before you go into the interview, 2 things that you know that are going to be great questions that you can promote.
Right. For sure. Yeah, that way I know I can ask the question, let them talk, and I know just where to clip it at the end for sure. Okay. I gotta start doing that. Mark it down which questions I know for sure. Because like you said, that glasses question that you knew for sure that's gonna be good to clip up because people read that and be like, what? They gotta see what you're talking about. So okay.
And have Suave do a thumbnail for that. You know what I mean? Like give them some suggestions. And really for your clip, all you do is screen record. You just screen record it and you just go from whatever minute to whatever, you screen record it, and then it's already in form to be put back in.
Okay. That's a good game. I appreciate that, man. I gotta be on that.
Man.
For sure.
We built it, man. Appreciate you. Have a good one.
Man, have a good one, man. I love you, man. I'll talk to you soon. I'll talk to you soon, but we'll also come back next week at 11, Wednesday. Tune in to Relatable. Like and subscribe now. We'll see y'all soon. Rios, my good peoples, everybody. Peace.
Peace.